You know, and then it's and Mbappe. I'm not sure that going to a 3 is the thing. I think I would have thought that keeping the back 4 tight might have been better, because I think as in a 3 they could really get in trouble.
I mean, the manager who took over sort of during the qualification campaign, it has to be said, Gustavo Alfaro. Joe, he is known for his pragmatism.
Yes, undoubtedly so. And he turned them from being a side that looked like they were never going to make it through qualifying to one of the most robust backlines in South American qualifying. They had a victory over Brazil, they had a victory over Argentina. Very impressive indeed. His man management is key, Nat, as well. If you listen to interviews with Paraguayan players, he earned their respect and loyalty really early on in his reign, and that's what enabled them to kick off and make it through qualifying. He's also big on them embracing that fighting spirit that he says is in the Paraguay DNA. So this is a team that will certainly fight, scrap and battle, as we saw against Germany in the round of 32, of course. Whether that's enough against the flair and quality of this French side, which we know is so abundant in that kind of quality, is another thing altogether.
But what about this France team? We have seen them so many times already during this World Cup, and every performance we have been wowed by the team in general, but often wowed by somebody else in that particular game. Yeah,
I think that's what we've particularly been impressed with and enjoyed, that you know, it started off with Mbappe and then Dembele, and as I've said, I think Elise throughout it has been absolutely wonderful, and makes a lot of it happen. You know, he pops up here, he pops up there, he's brilliant in the ball. He gives Mbappe and Dembele and Barcola time to get into position, time to swap over, time to make runs, and you know, he's feeding it back to them, and then the balls are going through to these guys making these fantastic runs. So you know, Elise is a big part of it, but you know, they've been so impressive, and I think that the way they've set up Paraguay, I'm really worried for them, I have to say, because you end up with you know, 1v1s against the fullbacks, because and the 4 drop back in and they're too deep, and then they get hemmed in, and then, you know, I think they're giving themselves problems rather than solving problems.
Just on France again, it was interesting listening to Didier Deschamps, wasn't it, yesterday in the press conference, and talking about the balance in the side. And yes, they have a very good goalkeeper, they have a very good back 4. Tchouameni's going to be a miss today, but Kone and Rabiot are a very capable midfield too. I'm certainly not discounting the impact of all those players in the France team, but this starting front 4 in particular are so impactful. It's amazing that when you combine the goals that they've scored, Mbappe, Dembele, Barcola and Elise, as we were saying, it's 12. Bring together goals and assists, they've got 22 between them, and then with the rest of the squad combined, 1 goal, 3 goals and assists. So the emphasis is very much on the front 4 that are starting today. And when you think about the talent in terms of the strength in depth in this French squad, that is amazing. But this is Deschamps' first choice, that's for sure.
It's also interesting, and we will build up plenty more, of course, to this game. But being in that press conference that you mentioned there, we actually heard from Desiree Doué. And often, when it's the day before a match, when someone is put up for a press conference, you often think, oh, well, they're probably going to be starting. Why else would they be part of that press conference situation? He was asked that question at the point. He said, look, I don't know the team. But it kind of feels like they have, France, sort of bemused us once more by actually not starting with Doué, and they've gone with Barcola.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, in terms of the actual position and the player that's playing, it's a straight swap. You know, either one of them plays, and I think therefore, you know, they didn't really create too much mystery for Paraguay in that sense. So there would be a reason why they put him up and not Barcola, for instance, who's playing in that position today. But it was an interesting press conference. I loved being at it, particularly Deschamps' end of it. We heard it in English, you know, it was brilliant the way it was delivered, so instantly, the translation, it was just so impressive, the whole thing, brilliantly translated, and he gave such great answers and such clarity to anything he was asked. And he was, as you said, asked about the heat about 3 times, and it's one of those things. The journalists have been up all night thinking of the question, and therefore they're not prepared to change it, even though 2 or 3 other people have already asked it. So he did get a little bit frustrated at that, but generally speaking, he was in good humour, considering some of the trauma that he's suffered in recent weeks since he's been in the USA for the World Cup, and it was admirable that he was in such good humour, actually. Yeah,
very, very true. Okay, so that is the start of this game, and you have the lineups there, courtesy of Bet365. It's 18 and over, gambleaware.org.
On the ball, on Talk Sport with Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
You're listening to World Cup Game Day Live on Talk Sport. We're building up to Paraguay against France for the right to face Morocco in the World Cup quarter-finals on Thursday at 9 p.m, which, of course, will be live on the Talk Sport network.
Thinking about the altitude and all that. They're going to be walking out in that stadium thinking, England, Mexico, in the Azteca. Can I be a hero? Yeah. Can I go down in history?
Yeah, and turn up. Our performances have not really lived up to the billing that certainly some of the players out there. I've been really disappointed in our wide men. Balls in the box. I don't know why we don't put more balls in the box. I genuinely don't.
Quality balls, though. I think that's a bit of an issue. The balls have been hitting the first man.
Yeah, well, get him in the box. Miss the first man is an absolute crucial decision. But go on the outside. If you think about the goal we got back in, Gordon comes off the bench, puts the ball in the box. Kane's movement, it's just brilliant centre-forward play. It's a good cross, but Kane makes it a brilliant cross by getting on the end of it. Yeah. His movement gets in front of the centre-half, heads it, and the keeper really should do. But I don't know why we don't put more balls in the box. Genuinely. I've got no idea. We've got Kane, we've got Bellingham that can crash the box as well. Whoever's on that far side, go and crash the box as well.
I don't feel like, though, when I watch Spain, right, and I watch France, Argentina with Messi, they've got them players to play them little intricate passes. We haven't got them players, Foden, Palmer. Elise, right? We haven't got them players in this tournament, like Palmer and Foden. They're not there. So there is maybe a little bit to say, are we a bit old? Not old. Is it a bit old school? Get the ball wide, move it quick. Elliot Anderson, Rice, keep it moving, 2-touch. Bellingham crash in the box, Kane in the box, and get bodies in the box.
I don't know why we don't do it more. And I'm not saying we have to do it every single time. The thing about Madueke, so he had plenty of chances on that right-hand side. And you and I, we've done the game, we've done the Sports Bar special. Every time we got the ball, he looked to come in on his favourite left foot. Yeah. There was one time he went, I think it may well have been the Panama game. He gets on the outside. It was one of them. Gets on the outside. And he gets the byline. and then cut it back. I think we need to mix it up more. Our wide men need to produce more. They need.
Would you start Anthony Gordon over Rashford now?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm not. I don't think that's going to be the decision that decides whether we go through or not. Because
both said our wingers have got to produce.
Yeah, no, of course. But I'm not looking at. I'm looking at Rashford. Do I want more from Rashford? Yes. Do I want more from Gordon? Yes. I think it's a flick of a coin. If Saka's fit, I'm starting Saka 100%. If he's fit, he starts.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I don't know how fit he is. I don't know whether he can go through 90 minutes. Maybe start him and bring Madueke off the bench.
Yeah.
On the other side, I think it's a flick of a coin. I genuinely don't think either of them nailed it down.
Let's go to Tom. He's a Chelsea fan. Hi, Tom.
Right, Tom.
Hi, you all right?
I'm good, Tom. I'm good. Look, we're talking about the England team and the setup. What do you want to say?
Well, I just want to say that I think the other night we were definitely missing a bit of Chelsea in the team against DR Congo. And I would really want Reece James at right back for this upcoming match.
Well, we don't know if he's fit. If he's fit, yeah, of course. He won't fit.
Yeah, but even if he's 90%, surely we could start him.
If he can play, he'll start him. That's my opinion, because Tuchel loves him. If he's fit enough to start, he'll start him. He may not finish the game.
Is that risky business? Hamstring.
Well, of course.
Start him. Yes.
Of course it is.
He's going to get fatigued even quicker than he normally would.
Of course it is. He ain't fit. He's not 100% fit. Of course it is.
I just don't know, mate. I just don't know. Like you're saying, he's playing within himself. He's not 100% fit.
Yep.
Altitude, Azteca.
What's the alternative? I mean,
play it. Well,
so if Jed Spence's the alternative, you start Reece. It's a simple choice.
No, I hear your argument. Reece James is obviously a lot better than Jed Spence, but we're talking about all the conditions and everything that comes into play. Isn't Jed Spence in this? Isn't this the perfect moment for Jed Spence to start? Fit, athletic, gets up and down. We're playing at the Azteca.
Yeah, no,
is that not one where you go, you know what? Yeah, I want Reece James, but maybe I'm going to put him in a position where he's going to struggle. I
don't know whether you bring Reece James on though. You might be able to bring Jed Spence on for energy, legs, but this is the problem. I mean, Tuchel's almost kind of created it himself, really.
Oh, of course he has.
Livramento picked up the injury, right? And then bringing in Chalobah. Chalobah's not going to play a minute.
No.
He's not. No. Unless something drastic happens.
It's the most pointless call-up ever. It's ridiculous.
I know. Unless there's an injury to John Stones, then Constance got to play right back, and then maybe Chalobah comes in at centre half.
Just a mess.
That's all I can think of.
Just pointless. It really was. Let's go to Danny. He's a Liverpool fan.
Danny boy.
How are we doing, guys? All right?
I'm all right, Danny. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, lads. Jamie, you're a legend, by the way. You've come to Chesterfield for a while on loan.
I did, yeah.
When you were
back in the day.
He keeps talking about this goal he scored, right? It's pinged. Honestly, every time I saw it, and in fact, you know what?
I haven't talked about it for years.
Okay, but you know the goal I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was.
Right,
yeah.
He actually one day got it up on YouTube.
Mate,
showed me it.
It's a worldie.
Yeah.
It is a worldie. Tranmere away.
Keeper, mate. Keeper, what's he doing?
40 yards out.
Mate, it's like you're playing altitude, the keeper. Couldn't get up. Viagra, the keeper.
I've just got to say, lads, you crease me, you two. I mean, where's Brecon Beacons? Where's Snowdonia? Where's Ben Nevis? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Where's the Azteca?
Where is it? Yeah.
Where is this gaff?
It's built on a volcano.
Yeah, it's just, where is it? It's a joke. Altitude. Who plays at 2,200
The point I want to make, guys, the point I want to make is I don't know why we're so worried about Mexico. On another day, when we played Congo, with a bit more luck, we'd have gone in at half-time 4-1 up.
That's true.
Their keeper has had a worldie.
Yep.
I know it wasn't the greatest defensive performance, and it took us a little while after they scored to sort of get a shape back together.
Yep.
But we could have gone in 4-1 up, and then obviously the interviews and everything after, it's all upbeat and not downbeat. I've seen who Mexico's played as well in this. I know they haven't lost for a certain amount of time, but I mean, they've only played Thornaby Chocolate Bobbies.
I'm not worried about Mexico, though, Dan. I'm not worried about Mexico. I'm worried about the conditions. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Because, it's a massive leveller, right? It's like when you play on a really bad football pitch against a crap team.
Yeah.
Well, it's a leveller, right?
Yeah.
Because they're used to playing on crap pitches. Mexico are used to playing at altitude. They've got the advantage over us. That's I'm not concerned about Mexico. If we're playing Mexico at Wembley,
no, you're 100%
we're playing at
right.
Atlanta,
100%
we're going through. There's no questions. We're going through. We have to win this game. It's the conditions that have made this game where everyone's going, away from home.
I don't want to keep talking about it, though. I'm getting bored of it.
No, I know.
I think we'll turn them over. I think we'll turn them over, and it'll be bring on Brazil or.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what? Right, I agree, but we've got to put in our best performance of the tournament so far, because we've all watched England. Only one half against Croatia have we really seen what we're capable of. The game against Ghana, boring, slow, laborious, don't move them quick enough. Panama, exactly the same. Eventually we get over the line. We saw what we did against Congo. Congo actually come on to us. That's what we want. And we didn't. It took us ages to adapt. Ages. And we got shell-shocked by the goal. I've seen enough. Turn up, England. Turn up. Put in the best performance of the tournament so far. I don't want to hear about altitude. Don't want to hear about heat. Don't want to hear about humidity. I want to see a performance.
Okay.
.co.uk. Paraguay against France, the latest round of 16 clashes coming your way in just under an hour's time here on TalkSport.
The try on the match ball.
It's just not that early now, is it?
Yeah, no, we're all good. We're all up, all good to go.
Talking of up, tell me what happens to the body when you get to some kind of crazy high altitude levels. What happens to us?
Yeah, well, it's tough. I mean, of course, you'll know now it's your favourite country and you've discovered your heritage. But it's tough, as you well know.
I detect sarcasm in your voice, James.
As you well know, it's very tough.
James,
it's the next option available to you.
James, go after my people very, very carefully.
But you should know about the altitude. Did you?
I'd say it's a good thing.
You got a family there.
I got family there. I could phone them up. I could phone them up.
But you didn't know?
They're not up yet, are they? Look at the time. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, James.
It's tough. It's tough. There's less oxygen available to them. There's less oxygen going into their muscles, into their brain. They're going to start fatiguing more quickly. Even when they're just sat on the bench, their heart rate's going to be up. It's quite a challenge ahead of them, and I think that's why the record at the Azteca speaks for itself, really.
How long does it take the body to acclimatise to it?
Yeah, longer than they've got, which is the challenge. Ideally, you'd be up there for quite a significant period of time, maybe a week or so before match day. But obviously, the logistics of the tournament is what it is, and they have to fly in a couple of days before and deal with it in the next few days.
I've been reading about it, James. It says here, a routine 30-yard sprint feels like an absolute long burner. Altitude sickness includes headaches, nausea, dizziness, and disrupted sleep. This is crazy, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's really tough. And it's not necessarily the fact that one single sprint will feel harder, but it's the fact that you have to do that time and again. You know, if you think football, you have to sprint, recover very quickly, and sprint again. And across the course of 90 minutes, that just accumulates, that fatigues. Every single recovery is a little bit impaired, and it's going to mount up from there really across the course of the time they're playing. And the altitude sickness thing is tough, you know, and they're dealing with that. We're talking about match day, but they're going to be up there for a couple of days beforehand as well. You know, what that does to the recovery from their last match, from the travel, all the rest of it, it's a challenge right from the off.
James, I was reading, I think, in the Times today that England are flying out there as late as possible to minimise the effect. What difference does that make? And do you think that's the only way to do it?
I mean, it's what they've got to do. It's the constraint that the tournament's placed on them. Flying out late, there is a thought that if you fly in late, then you minimise the disruption. So being at altitude, for example, is very dehydrating. So maybe you minimise some of the disruptions, the hydration, that sort of thing. But ultimately, it's what they have to do. You know, they had to play elsewhere early in the week. They've got to recover from that, go in and be ready for Sunday night, Monday morning. So it's what they have to do ultimately.
James, I know it's totally different because Hong Kong isn't altitude, but when we played there, Bentley did as well in a pre-season tournament. Like, we couldn't breathe. The humidity, the heat. Is it going to be a similar sort of feeling for these players where you have to, like, time your runs, you have to time your press, you're going to have to maybe sit back at times, and the whole bench is going to be needed, every substitute?
I think so, yeah. It's a quite a good comparison to make, to be fair. It's a different condition, as you say, but it's a similar sensation, just that breathlessness, that inability to recover. You know, we had the 2010 World Cup when they did the analysis on the matches there. There's probably about 5% less distance covered per match when the games were played above 1,200 meters above sea level. And we're dealing with another 1,000 meters above that here with Mexico City. So the impact's going to be huge.
I'd love people as well, James. We get a lot of fans saying, "Oh, get on with it," but I'd love for them to try it and see how they're panting and how their lungs are about to explode. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it, mate?
It's horrible, and you're going to be about 10-15% down on where you would be at sea level. So you've got to try it to understand what it's actually going to be like for them. Yeah.
Presumably, it will be the same for obviously the Mexican players, but because they've been there X amount of time beforehand to prepare for it, will they be completely used to it, or will it still affect them, but not to the same levels?
I mean, it's likely to still affect them compared to being at sea level, but probably not quite to the same level. You know, they spend a lot of time up there over the course of the competition. Some of them live out there, they'll be out there full time. Some of them will have been born at altitude, which might protect them as well a little bit. But the other thing as well, you know, we're talking about the physiology, but there'll be things like the flight of the ball will be different at altitude.
Why?
Because the air is thinner. So there's less air resistance. So if you kick the ball with the same power, it will travel further than it would at sea level. The ball will swerve slightly differently, all of that sort of thing. So there might be little factors like that they're just a little bit more used to.
Amazing.
Than the England players will be.
We've seen as well, the England rugby team are playing in Johannesburg this weekend versus South Africa. Yeah. And the Altitude Centre has been working with them. What does that offer? Because the Altitude Centre, is that going to make a big difference for the players?
Yeah, so they've had basically altitude generators at Penny Hill Park, so machines that simulate what it's like to be at altitude, but within their own training camp. So yeah, for last month or so, they've been able to do their altitude training before they get there, and it just kickstarts that pre-acclimatization process. So it's the same stuff that we do with mountaineers. You know, if you want to go and climb Everest Base Camp, Kilimanjaro, then you can pre-acclimatize to that. So we're just using the same techniques to get them ready to play professional sport at high altitude.
A quick word about Declan Rice. Already got a sore hamstring. Is there an increased chance of injury in the altitude?
It's a good question. Not necessarily because of the altitude per se, but if his recovery is impacted across the course of the next couple of days, you know, from not just the altitude, being altitude, but from the travel and that side of things as well. So possibly, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a massive factor.
Okay. Before I let you go, just so people can understand, because I don't really understand. I understand what you're talking about, but I can't obviously comprehend the difference it will make to footballers that are very fit people. If you had my flight of stairs at home, let's just say it's got 10 steps in it, my flight of stairs, how many steps would that be like for me walking up in comparison?
A lot more than that. But put it this way, they're about 3.5 times the height that is required for elite athletes to start feeling the effects of altitude.
No, but what I mean is when I get to the top stair, I'm not tired, right? So if you were to put 30 stairs in my home, would it be the equivalent of me going up 3 flights? Would I be like that tired? Is it 3 or 4 or 5 times the amount?
I think that's probably fair to say, yeah.
Okay. That's some difference.
Are we still going to win though, mate?
What a question. Look, I've got head and heart. Heart says yes. Head is going to be challenging, but if they can get ahead early doors, if they can get out the blocks quickly, then I think that's the best chance.
Okay, I really enjoyed that. Fascinating.
Appreciate it, mate.
James, thanks so much for coming on.
James.
Thanks very much, guys. Have a good day.
You too. That was James.
That's good, mate.
Lead performance specialist at the Altitude Centre.
I love that because people listen to us and say, "Oh, you're going on about the altitude." Now they've listened to an expert. It's going to be a tough game, mate.
It will.
The best option is, mate, is to get that early goal. Then you sit back. Maybe we go into a low block, conserve energy.
And I also think it's certainly a game where you use all your subs.
100%.
Yeah.
Now about this for a development cast. Last night, news came out that Mexico-England would be moved to start at 7 p.m. UK time. Cass booked his table, spent a load of money on that. Everybody's thinking, my kids can watch it, I can watch it, don't need to worry about work.
Quick one, right? My son has come back. He lives in Singapore. He's come back. His girlfriend's Mexican, right? So it's trying to book desperately. So last night we got something, and we obviously with a change of time, we booked it at 4:00 tomorrow afternoon to go and watch the game.
Yeah.
And now it's gone back. So we're snookered.
I think, Can you text in 81089 0371 722 if you've been absolutely shafted by FIFA's U-turn and whether you've lost money on a booking and whether you're confident you're going to get it back? Because FIFA decided to backtrack on its controversial proposal to move the kickoff time for this crucial round of 16 clash. All signs indicate and suggest the match between Mexico and England will now remain set for Sunday 6 p.m. local time, of course, 1 a.m. Monday morning UK time. This is what Mexico manager Javier Aguirre said to local media at the time that this was initially changed. He said, it's a kick in the stomach. It changes everything. They informed me about it here. I don't agree. FIFA calls the shots and we have to swallow garlic and water. Now we have to change our plans. Nobody consulted me. Neither I nor my players like this change. I'm off. He was not a happy bunny. And it seems that the FA and the Mexican FA have not been happy with the change of plan. FIFA have backed down. They've changed it. Cass, what do you make of it?
A bit of a shambles because FIFA hasn't really, not to have contact with the national team and obviously the federation or even the managers to just go ahead.
England reportedly got on their plane that didn't have Wi-Fi on the way to Mexico City, not knowing when kickoff would be.
No.
So they found out when they landed.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shambles and I don't know. What can you say? You have to do, if you're going to make a call, and it was weather related, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's weather related. You're going to have to make a call as early as you can, and they might say, well, we did that. But then to reverse it so quickly it couldn't have been that drastic, could it?
Yeah, it's an absolute shambles. It's an absolute shambles. Now, if you got your hopes up, thinking you could watch England's next game against Mexico at a normal time on Sunday, think again, because FIFA had been set to reschedule the fixture, confirmed it in a statement, but for the joy they've given us that we can watch it at 7 p.m, kids can watch it, everyone can go to the pub, no hangover in the morning, think again. Because they've switched. We understand it is going to happen at 1 a.m. English time. We got a text from Tim from Chester. He says, "Morning, boys. Great show as always. I booked my table in front of a large screen for breakfast at the Hilton Hotel in Bangalore, 5:30 a.m. originally, then cancelled it last night. Still waiting to hear back if my attempt to rebook is successful." Absolute shocker from FIFA. The Mexican coach, Javier Aguirre, called it a kick in the stomach. He used an expletive expression to describe how annoyed he is. Delighted to say here to bring us more on it and maybe a little bit of clarity. It's TalkSport's voice of football, Adrian Durham. Good morning, Adrian.
Adrian.
Max, Cass, great to speak to you from Miami. What a crazy story. I'm not entirely sure I can bring some clarity to it, though.
I was going to say, Aid, because I last night with my son, and he's I'm saying to Max that his girlfriend is Mexican, and they wanted to come into London to watch the game. So we got somewhere booked, and literally had to book it for 4:00 in the afternoon. And now, like many other people, it's completely. I mean, look, that's just a personal thing, but I find it really strange that both federations seem to have no idea this was going on.
I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, what you say there is right. People have made lots of personal commitments. They've made plans. You've also got pub owners throughout the UK or throughout England who've said, we're staying open until 5. They've taken on staff who might now still need to be paid, and they will be working. But for a while they weren't working, and maybe they've been cancelled. It's such a shambles. None of this seems to be taken into account. I think what FIFA have got so badly wrong is that so many millions of people care about the tournament they run, to the point where you can't just chop and change kickoff times. That's never happened before. It shouldn't happen again. Now, I think there's an issue with the weather, clearly, but the weather forecast is so changeable. If you look at the weather forecast hour by hour, in places like here in Miami, if you look at it in Mexico, these are the places where the weather is really volatile, especially at this time of year. And we saw that at the Club World Cup last year. So, you can say, we think there's going to be a storm at that particular time. So what we're doing is changing the kickoff time. 5 minutes later, that forecast has completely changed. So it made no sense to change the kickoff time. It is an utter shambles from FIFA. There's no question about it. And when Tuchel didn't know about it, Aguirre didn't know about it, the FAs didn't know about it, that's when you've got your biggest problem, because they just should be involved in the conversation.
Aid, was it all about the weather, or do you think that FIFA have sort of wider concerns maybe about fan safety? We saw those sort of jubilant scenes at the Angel of Independence Monument in Mexico City after they beat Ecuador in a round of 32. But tragically, 4 people did die in that, so many people there. Do you think that FIFA maybe also had an eye on concerns about that? Because we know they are they're doubling the policing for this game against England.
Yeah, I think even more so potentially with England, because England have so many followers, so many fans who have come with them across the Atlantic to the World Cup. I think it's a really good point. FIFA will probably never admit that, but it would have been part of the conversation. I feel sure it would have been part of that conversation. But you know what? They have to make arrangements to deal with that. And they probably have to be upfront about that as well, bring that out in the open and say, well, look, this was our concern. They might get more sympathy that way. People might be a bit more understanding with that. So I think that was a concern.
Well, transparency is not really FIFA's favourite thing, is it, though, Aid?
Exactly the point I was going to make, that, we don't know. And so we're guessing that that's part of it. But if they were clear, I think we would have more sympathy, more understanding. But for some strange reason, even after all the Blatter nonsense all those years ago, they're still not into clarity. It seems very strange.
Yeah. Aid, I just want to ask you about England, because I listened in midweek and I worked on a couple of games on Monday and Tuesday, and I found the reaction to England quite extraordinary, as in, we know they didn't play well for large parts of the game, and there wasn't an ideal performance, but they got through. And I thought the optimistic thing was the last 20 minutes where they so often that has been the period of the game where they've been knocked out of tournaments is in the final, half of the game or, into 60 minutes plus. And also Max has asked me to ask you about why you give Elliot Anderson a 1.
He doesn't play for Forest anymore, mate. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You can let it go.
I did say to I said, well, when I was playing, Aid would have given me a -3. Don't worry about that.
No, listen, I got taught a little bit of a lesson last night, actually, by the Argentina fans, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I get very emotional watching England because before I did this job, I was a travelling England fan, absolutely, totally emotionally invested and committed in supporting my country, and I absolutely love watching England, even though they've let us down so many times. So I was emotional during the game against DR Congo because England didn't play particularly well for a large part of the game, 70-odd minutes. They then turn it around and Harry Kane scores a great header and then scores an absolute worldie to win it, and England are through. Now, last night at Miami Fields, I was watching Argentina. They didn't play particularly well, and they were run so close, as you know, by Cape Verde. And in the end, they got through. But throughout the game, even when Cape Verde equalised first time and then second time, and when it looked like Argentina were just strolling around, the fans didn't get on the back. There's so many Argentina fans, but they were so positive, getting behind them, even when they conceded against Cape Verde. And I thought to myself, do you know what? All they care about is getting through. Okay, they've had some worldly performances. They've got a truly extraordinary player, the like of which we'll probably never see again. So, yeah, they can enjoy all of that, but they still got behind their team. And maybe that's a little bit of a lesson to England fans that we shouldn't be so negative when things are going wrong. Try to be positive. It might go wrong, or it might actually just go right. So I kind of enjoyed the atmosphere of the Argentina fans and wish we had that a little bit more with England.
Oh, he's on the other side. He's changed, Aid. You've changed.
I know it. I got taught a lesson. It actually did. It did impact. After all these years, Cass, it's actually impacted me a little bit.
Aid, I love the sentiment. I do. And there's a part of me that just thinks, in the past, the team that doesn't play the best often wins the tournament if they can find the moment. And my assessment of England so far is that they're a team of moments. And yes, this isn't ignoring the defensive frailties that we've seen. They're lacking cohesion, they're lacking communication, all of that sort of stuff that we're hearing on commentary. I see that. But that romantic part of me, within me, that England fan that's also an England travelling supporter, thinks, well, hold on a minute. Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham are the absolute bee's knees. And it may be just maybe with someone like Thomas Tuchel, who is a tactical upgrade on Gareth Southgate, can find ways, whoever the opposition is. Is there a part of you that does believe that, or are you kind of thinking that's pie in the sky?
Well, I'm waiting for it to be confirmed he's a tactical upgrade on Gareth Southgate. We'll see with that. Somebody actually messaged me on X saying, why don't you give praise to Tuchel's substitutions? Southgate never did that. And I pointed out that Watkins came on as sub and won the semi-final for us, the Euros. And then Cole Palmer came on as sub, and very afterwards he was an equaliser. Yes, you can question some of the tactics, but I'm right now at this tournament questioning some of the tactics of Thomas Tuchel, and certainly we're questioning some of the selections of Thomas Tuchel. What I would say is this, that you're absolutely right. England could possibly win the World Cup through moments of magic provided by Jude Bellingham, who for me has been our player of the tournament. Harry Kane is just goals even when they look really unlikely. You can win a tournament like that. That can happen. It happened in 1986 with Maradona. Were they the best team at the tournament? Probably not. 82, Brazil were the best, and yet they didn't win the tournament. Just because you are, in a lot of people's opinions, the best team doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win it. So France need to play a bit worse than they are doing. But I think that the rest, England, with the moments they have from the magic players that they have, I think England have a chance of going all the way. But they do need France to get a bit worse.
Aid, thanks so much for joining us, mate. Absolute pleasure. And we're looking forward to hearing you on presenting duty for that massive game that is, we believe right now, at 1 a.m. UK time Monday morning. Speak to you soon, Aid.
Cheers, Aid.
Cheers. I'm going to get there early just in case the kickoff time is wrong.
That's Adrian Durham, a transformed Adrian Durham. His heart has been softened by the support that Argentina fans give to them after a difficult game against Cape Verde.
You reflect back after a few days and you look at England, you put it in perspective that, they didn't play particularly well, but the way they ended the game, it has to be a positive.
I mean, like, this stadium was built for the 1968 Olympics, where, the famous Bob Beamon had the long jump record forever. Then 1970, they played the most famous final ever, Pele and the great, that great team. 86, Maradona, hand of God. It's up there in the top 5 football stadiums on the planet, Sean, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Before you worry about anything else.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing as a player, having been one, didn't play at that level in these sort of stadiums, but played at some big ones. You can't, the hardest thing is to lock it in.
Yeah.
You're nervous, you're anxious, you're building up to the game, and it's that knife edge of success and failure. You're going into it like that.
Yes.
And it goes like that, and then all of a sudden you go, I didn't really lock in that feeling. It's such a fine line,
Yeah.
Because you want to be looking forward to these games. You want to go there and open up and play your best football and relax and enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah.
Knowing that this is an historical marker. And yet, it doesn't really feel like when you're in the business.
No.
You know what I mean? That's the hardest thing about these stadiums, amazing as they are, and amazing occasions, but to actually lock it in, and remember it and enjoy it, that's the hardest thing when you're a professional.
And we were talking just now about Mexico itself and the people and the nation. I mean, they've gone mad for it, haven't they? I mean, 1 million people in the streets and all that kind of thing. Incredible atmosphere. So they really sort of, I suppose they fancy themselves as well. You would, wouldn't you, with their home record and that advantage?
The record's incredible.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, you can imagine the feeling over there must be, it must be bonkers there. And it is, I mean, imagine Cape Verde at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the same scale with people, but that must be going absolutely
the pride they'd feel.
Yeah, imagine that last night.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been some atmosphere anywhere in Cape Verde around the people of Cape Verde.
Yeah.
But no, going back to Mexico, I mean, it's incredible for them as well, not just for us. We want to win and all that, but it's one of them funny things, isn't it? People presuppose, but we want to win more. Well, do we? Because there's going to be a stadium full of Mexican people. Trust me, they're going to be wanting to win. So I was like, well, we'll see.
It's true. Let's have a little chat then about, obviously, the big talking point this week for England has been the right back position.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, where do you stand on all this, Sean?
Well, the bigger picture, I was surprised. I said it on our first show. I was surprised Jed Spence made it. Not because he's not a good player, by the way. I just didn't think he was England ready for this sort of tournament. But that's the manager's job and his staff, and they've chosen him. Then I said he should play the last game, which I believe, what is the point in taking right by there if you're not going to play him in their natural slots?
Yes.
Don't think it went as well as they'd have hoped, and certainly not by my opinion, I saw Tuchel screaming at him during the game, which suggested he wasn't doing the job that he wanted him to do.
No.
A lot of talk with Rice going out there. I mean, the challenge for that, right, from a manager's point of view, if I'm chatting with my staff about this, you'd be going, could we do that? Yes, we could, of course. But then we not necessarily weakened, but we changed the dynamic of the midfield. And then the midfield have been really strong, I think, so far this tournament.
Yeah.
And 3 top players in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you risk changing that dynamic when that's going to be really important? I'm not saying fullback's not important, of course it is. But Konza, I think, could do a job there. He's done it at times for Villa. I don't think it's a natural turn, but he can do it. He moves well, so, I mean, that would be in the debate. Or don't forget, the hardest thing as a manager, and I say this a lot in talks that I do, is the hardest thing is to do nothing at all.
Yeah.
When the noise is building.
Yeah.
No, it's fair to say that Tuchel could go, listen, to Jed Spence, listen, we believe in you, we trust you, we just want you to do this, that and the other, and just maybe, hold your position a bit longer, or whatever tactical little nuances, and little details, reflect on it, and they might even go again. And that's the bravest thing as a manager, is to do nothing. When everyone's making a huge noise about what you should be doing, the bravest thing often, it's the bravest, doesn't mean it's the right thing, by the way, I must make that clear, but the bravest thing is to do nothing and stand by your players and what they stand for as individuals and as a team. Not saying he should do that, but I'm just saying that is a brave thing to do. I don't think he will do that, but I'm still giving an example of when I've done it myself and going right and wrong, by the way, with my staff, debating who we should play, and I've stood strong. Nope, the same team's playing. Even when they've been going, no, we've got to change it. And that's a very tough thing to do.
And it's interesting because, like anything in life, but specifically in football management, where it's so intense, is if you get it right, everybody kind of goes, "Oh, you get it wrong."
You got it. I know, hindsight, the power of hindsight.
You know,
I've never had a bad game in here. Brilliant every game. Got to call out Sean Knight. He's a tactical genius. Not so much on a Saturday afternoon.
Do you know a name that you've often mentioned in the past as one of the players you've played with over the years, but Trips has been mentioned a lot that they didn't take.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I'm surprised. Well, I must make it clear, not that he's in his prime. He's not, but he's still a very, very good player, you know, and he can handle it. He's shown that. He's got quality. He's shown that. He knows his way around what it is to be out there. Harry Maguire's another one who I would have personally took him.
Yeah.
You know, another reason for him slightly different. He went through that lull in his career, which can happen, and the crowd brought him and everything. But the last 3 months, he's been excellent. The feel-good factor's there as well for him.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't played as much football as all the others, as in literal minutes, so he goes there kind of fresh. But look, on the other side, I'm sorry, but when I go on this show, and I want to give my opinion, but sometimes I do sit on the fence because I am a manager, and I've been a manager,
yeah,
and I am one, and I do feel that it sounds really simple this from the outside, but when you're on the inside of it and you're debating it, you've got staff, you've got analytics, you've got, you know, sports scientists, you've got all the data coming in, and eventually you have to make a decision. 26 is a lot, you know, of players. But you can only pick 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not as easy as it sounds. But they will, trust me, they will be debating it.
Do you think he'll play him, Sean?
I don't think he'll play Jed Spence in the next game. If he does, though, like I say, I wouldn't think anything other than let's see. I wouldn't be jumping on it straight away.
Yeah.
Let's see how this game goes, because I'm a great believer in that. If he stands strong to his decisions, I trust the fact that he's the international manager, top manager, and I respect it. And I wouldn't be jumping on it after 2 minutes, which some people can do in football. I'd give him a chance and go, right, let's see how the game pans out. But I don't think he will. I think he'll change it.
Right, just 2 quick shout-outs before we go to the break. This is Julian from Surrey, a reference Mexico. Loving the show, guys. Thank you very much, Julian. Spent my wedding honeymoon in Mexico. He's named the place here, but I can't pronounce that. I can do if it was Welsh, it'd be all right, but I can't. Back in 1998, great memories and a lovely one. This is from Johnny Gard in Pontypridd, Roger Miller in 1990.
Roger Miller, what a good shout with the dance. See, I mentioned this about dances and that. You remember when we were talking about Tardelli and how natural it was? For one, did you see the Cape Verde lad when he scored his second go? Absolutely balmy.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, but loved it. No dance.
Natural.
But Roger Miller was authentic.
Yeah.
Remember, it wasn't like he made it all up.
No.
It was so authentic that it actually worked, that one. So I'm going to let him away with that one.
Roger Miller is allowed to dance by Sean Dyche. And this lad has added in, Johnny God. He's gone, I seen you cut a few of those shapes in the Lava Lounge in Cardiff back in the day, Johnny. There we are.
I love
Must have seen me dancing on the dance
floor. An old splashing nightclub name.
The Lava Lounge.
Lava Lounge.
It's so well. Plenty more World Cup talk coming up, so please stay with us. A lot of people are talking about England's right-back situation. Former England international Kyle Walker joined Jason Cundy and Darren Bent on World Cup Game Day live on Thursday and was asked if he would be ready to go into England squad at right back.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm back in pre-season. You know, I'm back in pre-season.
Yeah.
Did a yo-yo test. I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm good to go. But I when you look at the names that we've had in the competition that I would say that I've had to fight off for so many years now with trips, the likes of Reece James coming up and doing so well, Trent playing at Liverpool, winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, and to be in this situation now, and I look at it as the England team, and I look at it, they've got one natural fullback with Jed Spence. Nico O'Reilly's not a natural fullback. No. He's a midfielder. Obviously, he's done extremely well at Man City, and, you know, rightly so, he's in this England team, but to learn your trade as a fullback, it's not over a season, it's over years of, you know, being tested against probably, or if not the best players in the world.
Stephen, there's always something that comes up every major tournament. There's always a big question about England, and it's the right back. Have you got any views on it?
Well, it's a problem. And when he picked the squad, actually, he picked Livramento, Reece James, obviously top quality players, but susceptible to injury.
Yeah.
So you've got an issue there, and it's a big issue now. I mean, I worked with Jed. Obviously, remember the time working with Jed at Nottingham Forest, and incredible. And I know he has got a little bit of stick. And I think actually in both fullback positions there's a slight issue, because actually watching the goal back the other day, I actually, for me, looked at the left back getting out. I'm going to go into football mode a little bit.
Yeah.
He's come out a little bit too soon. Yeah. 2 centre backs have shifted across.
He did.
Jed has to come in.
He did.
And then can't make up the distance to get out.
Yeah.
What he does next, I'm not too sure. Do you take Rice out of midfield but lose the engine? and the physicality in there. To be honest, I don't know. But it's an issue.
I mentioned about Trips, but that's only because I've dealt with him, worked with him, and all that. But Carl Walker, I was just checking now on my phone when we came back on. He played 36 games last year. So, you know what I mean? You forget he's up and running. You know what I mean? Now, he might not have been the Carl Walker that he once was, but for me, he knows the script. He knows what it is. You know what I mean? He knows how to deal with it. Another guy around the camp who's been there, seen it, done it a little bit. I mean, I'm surprised by Jed Spence being there, but I make this clear because I said this in the beginning, just because I didn't think he had an amazing season. Nothing to do with whether he's a brilliant player or not, just because I didn't think he had an amazing season. And I agree. What was the cover? Where was the cover angle? Yeah. So if you're seeing something as a manager, right, and you start this, what I'm not seeing, which is fair, because Tuchel's got a different view of these players, of course. So we'll have seen something that he wanted in the camp. But there has to be a reliability factor, doesn't there? You know, I think you can't go to a tournament. Well, you know better than me because he obviously has been with Scotland, right? Yeah. You are looking at your runners and riders, surely, in your squad. You're going, right, who are the ones that are your fail-safes? Do you know what I mean? And then you might bring along a Jed Spence who, might be the wild card. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? But it felt a bit like he's bringing him along to almost play, I know injury to James, of course, but, let next in. And then there's pressure on Jed Spence. Funny enough, we were just talking about it. He must be feeling it. He must be thinking, God, this is a bit weird.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they put him in now, don't get me wrong, brilliant he's going there for him. And he'd been buzzing to be there, I'm sure. But you get what I mean? He's then going, I bet he's questioning himself now because all the furore around it. But deep down, I was saying earlier, Redo, before you come on, does Tuchel now stay strong and go, no, you're playing again? No panic, you're playing again. And give him strength, as a manager. To almost go, no, Cliffy would have. He's like, Cliffy said, no, you're the right player, you're playing. But it's a big decision. Yeah. Big decision. I'm not sure which is the answer. It's a tough one. That's why he's England manager. That's his job.
Because the changes that he's and then all of a sudden Rice is had to fill in at right back, and then it all becomes a little bit.
Yeah, everything goes out of kilter a little bit.
Like how Trent, you might have spoke about it already, but
he's
how, for the life of me, he cannot be in that squad or playing.
Yeah, but I wonder, do you think there's something behind what we
see?
Be. Yeah, because he has to be. I agree. He's a top player, whatever you think. Is there something behind the story? You know what I mean? Yeah. So we don't know how these personal relationships go.
Because that's the big bit. You're away for 4 to 6 weeks with the squad, and it's as much about having the right blend. I get that. The right blend of characters to kind of carry you through, but at the same time,
you need quality. You need the best players.
You need quality,
Yeah, and so, we're going to have to talk about Scotland. I mean, the disappointing World Cup for them at the end. What were your views on that, Stephen?
I was gutted for Steve. Obviously worked alongside him for a couple of years. So gutted for him. I think he wanted to obviously get to that, qualify for 3 tournaments, wanted to take that next step and get out the group. But again, I look at the third game and you'll know as a gaffer, Daishi, that first 20 minutes is out of his hands. Obviously, Scott McKenna makes an error. Right? Jack Hendry gets away with one, not a foul. Yeah. Angus Gunn comes out for the cross, doesn't get there. All of a sudden, you're 2-0 down, and it's game over. Nothing you can do from the sideline to do anything about that.
Same, Rito, with you being in the camp and knowing what it's like. The point that me and Johnny spoke about the other week, and it seems a weird view. I'm not sure I explained it very well. I'll attempt to again, but the overpowering nature of how good the fans has been. I've felt the media almost like, come on then, Steve, why aren't the players going? You go, because the fans have been brilliant, doesn't make the players brilliant all of a sudden. They haven't all suddenly become world-class players because the fans are brilliant. Yeah. And it almost like, I think he felt like he was sort of defending the team rather than just talking about the team. And then it comes across a bit weird, and then it's a bit odd. I mean, I personally, I back the job he's done in the bigger picture because he's done a brilliant job. And I saw Big Duncan Ferguson talking about going, as he just stepped out too soon, was he a bit emotional about it all. But he never comes across like that to me. He comes across so level-headed that I wonder whether at the back of his mind he thought this would be my last tournament. I don't
Possibly.
know.
I think a bit of the reaction. We've had a couple of messages we've not spoke, but I think some of the reaction from back home, was getting a little bit stick. Probably.
I mean, he was pretty vicious, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and I mean that's the thing when it goes. Redo, going back to what we're talking about, mental health and awareness and all that. Yeah, there's a line.
Yeah.
For every manager, for every player, for every not just. Well, I'm only going to use football yet again. I know there's people who do marvellous things in life. There's a life. They'll all have a line. I call it the truth line. Yeah. What's the truth of you? Where you go, that's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe
everyone's got that.
Yeah.
Haven't they? Got that line where
and maybe he hit the moment. He went, that's enough. I've given what I can give. That's enough. I'm not taking any more. You know what I mean?
And again, social media amplifies it. Yeah. I remember when Wales went out the last World Cup quite disappointingly, and Robert Page got us to 2 major tournaments, man. First manager ever. Brilliant. And then people were starting to go, oh, Bale's legacy. I'm going, you can't start having to go at Gareth Bale. But memories are short in football. And then McTominay, who had that terrific game against Denmark, suddenly it's like, oh, well, he hasn't turned up for this World Cup. You just think, God, it's like, it's so, like, Roy Keane says all the time, it's brutal sport at the top, isn't it? Yeah. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
Just changed. It went from Scotland. They won the game against Haiti. You think, oh, they're going to have enough to get on here. The fans are all enjoying it, and then bang.
Could have had a couple of penalties in the second game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's, it does make me laugh sometimes because getting to the tournament's enough until you get there. Yeah. And then it's, get out of the group. That's enough. Until you're there. Then it's cool.
And then it's failure, you're like, hang on a minute.
And actually, in the bigger picture, 3 tournaments qualified for.
Amazing.
He's done an incredible job. It'd be great to see him, maybe having one last crack at a decent club job as well.
And what do you think in Scotland? There's rumours about David Moyes, isn't there? Ever seen that? I mean,
that might be time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would have to be you obviously know him a lot better than me, but it'd have to be that moment, something that he's always wanted to have done.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the Scottish FA, you see some of the names on the short list, they're not going to be able to pay these type of
No, he'd want to do it. Yeah, he'd want to do it because he wants to do it.
This is something I've always wanted to do.
Yes.
I'm just going to go through it.
Yeah, people forget that these jobs, they don't pay like the Premier
No, they don't. No,
by the way, not that David Moyes, I'm not remotely saying
England do.
Putting words in his mouth.
Not Scotland and Wales.
Yeah. I'm not putting words in David Moyes' mouth, and I know you're not. He's a wealthy guy. He's done a brilliant job. He's done another great job at it now. But he'd have to want to do it. I know what you mean. It wouldn't be for money, that's for sure. He'd want to do it because maybe it's his final. His final.
Yes. I'll tell you who might be an outsider for it. Who's managed, players respect him. He's hungry. Could be just as a kind of off the bat one. Might be Stephen Naismith, who's assistant to Steve. Sometimes the Welsh sometimes. That's an opportunity job for a lot of managers.
Yeah, it is.
To take it, former players perhaps.
Yeah.
And then they usually at some stage move on.
They do.
It could be one like that because, as we've said there, the type you look at the list, and the Scottish.
It's got to be a passion job, isn't it? You're right. It's got to
definitely.
It's got to be coming in and just quickly in Ireland. I mean, what's the story there? Is it a bit like Wales? We've just got to go back and try and just
I've got to tell you, Johnny, you can vouch it. UEFA are just phoning me. You can that's bizarre. So maybe live
the Scotland job.
The Scotland job. UEFA are just phoning. How random is that?
It is.
That's actually real. Look, that's mad, isn't it?
Yes,
there you go.
Yes.
Oh well.
I mean, Ireland.
Sorry.
A bit like Wales. They got through the playoffs. It's qualifying for countries like that, isn't it?
It is. It looks a real struggle because as the years have gone on, they're slipping further down. The rankings becomes more difficult to qualify. Having said that, obviously the tournaments now has more teams, but look at the quality of the squad of the team, and I think what we always had when I was playing for them would be 3 or 4 standout Premier League players.
Yeah.
And a starting 11 were regular Premier League players. Throughout, and even going into the 21s, we was all playing at least at championship level on a regular basis. You kind of go through that squad now, and you're sort of missing that sort of real quality, that world-class quality of a Robbie Keane, of a Damien Duff, of a Roy Keane. You know,
well, I was saying that about the Scotland squad. The squad and the fact that when this World Cup. And no one didn't be disrespectful. They've got some really good players, but there's a difference between being a really good player and you get to the World Cup. You need that front third quality, that real cutting edge. That's the difference. And with all due respect, I don't think Scotland have got that Tallis person.
Right.
The one he is the one that makes a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So really good pros, really solid, but very good players. But not, you know what I mean? Not that one with just that bit more.
Yeah.
Like with Kane, he's got that bit more. I know. Kane.
Incredible.
I mean, a front to your team like Kane, people don't. I mean, down the years, imagine.
We've got to go to the break, but you know what? I really wish he was Welsh.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, the reigning world champions escaped the ultimate tournament shock by the skin of their teeth, surviving an absolute extra time thriller in Miami to educate Verde 3-2. Lionel Messi opened the scoring to net his 7th goal of the tournament to take his record-shattering career tally to an unprecedented 20 World Cup goals. And I'm happy to say, joining us now is the doctor from Rosario, the same doctor who Lionel Messi thanks for his growth as a young boy, Dr. Diego Schwartzstein. Diego, good morning.
Hi, Diego.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well, thank you, mate. Now, when you first met little Lionel Messi at 10 years old, did you ever expect that the little boy from Rosario would become the greatest player in history?
I think that never thought, no one could imagine that Leo will develop his career. Neither him, because this is like a film scoop, his life. So when he was 10 years old, he wanted to be a football player, but I think he didn't imagine his career.
Tell us about, compared with the average, how small was Lionel? Compared to just the general kids of his age at 10.
When he was 10, he was a normal kid, just a regular kid with a growth issue that, he wanted to be a football player. He was, as many Argentines kids, willing to be a professional football player. Very good. Actually, he was sent to my office by News of Boys, where he was making his very early career as a football player. And I have my memories built after all this happened, because I don't have memories as a special kid.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work and what you did as his doctor? We know that Messi was diagnosed with like a growth hormone deficiency. What exactly did you do to make him the best player in the world?
Well, no, I did nothing to make him the best player in the world. I make some things to help him grow. He was harboring a growth issue that you said is growth hormone deficiency. And what I made was practice the diagnosis. There is a kind of schedule when we receive in our office a kid that it's short with short height. We start a kind of diagnosis test. So we move to a diagnosis, because it's not this is not the only cause of growth issues. So we have to discard all issues till we find all causes, till we find which is the cause in each case. And after that, we started treatment. So in Leo's case, what I did was arrive to a proper diagnosis that was GHD. And after that, he started the proper treatment to correct it, so allow him to grow properly.
Tell us how much pleasure it gives you watching Lionel now, playing in World Cups, being a World Cup winner, doing what he's doing at this tournament. Tell us how much pleasure that is for you.
Oh, it's a lot of pleasure. It's a big pleasure to be a little part of his history.
Do you still communicate with him at all? Have you spoke to him recently?
Well, I used to do it very often on the first stages of his professional career, but as he was becoming so famous and so difficult to reach, nowadays I have a very sporadic touch with him.
Yeah. Obviously, he moved to Barcelona at a very young age as well, didn't he? Which is obviously then different people look after him in different ways.
Yeah, that's it. But, when I was very young, I lived in Barcelona many years, and then I came back to Argentina. That was when I met Leo. So when he decided to move to Barcelona, we got a common link with the city, so we started to speak a lot. In the first appointments, we talk a lot about football, and after that, we also talk a lot about Barcelona. So Barcelona was also linked to strengthen the patient-doctor relationship.
Talk to us just generally about Argentina. We've obviously seen Lionel Messi's got 20 World Cup goals now, 7 in this tournament. It was a close shave last night against Cape Verde. It was almost an amazing upset. Are you still confident that Argentina can go and win this thing again, back to back?
I think it's very difficult for Argentina to win this year, the Cup. France is very strong, and Leo is not the same that he was 4 years ago. Time is running for everyone, but I'm confident. I don't know if confident, but I've got hope.
Absolutely. Diego, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Absolute pleasure, and we'll good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Cheers, Diego.
Oh, just one item. You see, in the whole history of the World Cup, Argentina is the only team that had a victory on Cabo Verde.
That's a great shout.
Yeah,
it's a good point. It's a good point. History made for Argentina.
Yes.
First team to ever defeat.
We make history.
Yeah.
Constantly making history. Diego, absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. That is Dr. Diego Schwartzstein, Messi's doctor, the man sort of crediting with helping him overcome that growth hormone deficiency. Great guest.
Well, look, watching Lionel Messi again last night, taking the goal the way he took it. What is he now? 205 goals for Argentina, something like that, Max.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk of Diego Maradona as the greatest, you know, or one of the greatest. Some people will argue he is the best ever player to play. And, you know, you consider Diego, okay, slightly different roles in the team, but he got 34 goals for Argentina.
I know.
Have you take club records, Maradona's got a maximum half the goals of what Lionel Messi's got. And, okay, his career was shortened because, obviously, different issues. But just extraordinary watching Lionel Messi.
Do you like these conversations about, you know, who's the best player of all time, comparing Ronaldo, Messi, Pele, Maradona, or do you just kind of think, just leave it, just appreciate?
No, I look, we've all got an opinion. Yeah, we all like to say who we believe in. I feel that Lionel Messi is the best player I've ever seen because the longevity of how many, if you remember him as a 16, 17-year-old with Barcelona, what he did and how he played, and he's still doing it at 39. That's extraordinary. But there are many greats, and we all have our personal favourites. My personal favourite centre-forward of all time was Marco van Basten. He retired at 28. But when I first saw him play, I remember thinking, wow, he's got absolutely everything. He was great in the air, great technically, lead the line, and he was a fantastic finisher, Marco van Basten. He retired at 28.
Why?
Yeah, an injury in Italy. He had a serious injury, ankle injury that retired him, but he had everything. I played against him in Euro 88, and his movement was amazing, so quick.
Yeah.
But that's just a personal one.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we're looking at the greatest of all time, from Pele to others, there's Maradona. They're extraordinary levels of, you know, it's like arguing the greatest tennis player. Some people say Federer, or a lot of people say Federer. Some might say Djokovic, Sampras, you know, whoever.
It's I think it's a bit fickle in the end. I just think kind of appreciate it. And it's two totally different contexts.
Well, it's a bit like
totally
club
different
football.
times.
You might say your favourite Forest player ever is him.
Ryan Yates. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, so that's how difficult it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game of opinions.
Stadium, and I think no one resents them for it because it was good, and also they've written some hits, some pop hits.
Yeah.
But I think there was a time when Biffy was for me, and now it's for like everyone. They played their biggest ever gig yesterday.
You're kind of into excluding people, just generally.
You think so?
Yeah, you're that guy. I think.
I don't think that's very true.
You know, when there's something good.
Talk about Biffy Clyro.
Yeah. Well, I like those. I was asked about it in the chat. That's why you told me to engage with the chat.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I have done as I was requested.
Also, I have to apologise. It was the least formal welcome of all time for our special guest, Jacob Hawley, stand-up comedian from the podcast Screen Rot. Sorry, it's because I was re-logging into the PlayStation so we can actually watch the game. Can you chuck me the... No, man, I got it. There we go.
I was enjoying the Biffy Clyro chat.
Yes, are you also a Biffy fan?
I similarly was, and then sort of lost them, and I've never really thought about why. I mean,
I want to get back into it again.
Yeah,
but I just love the older records.
It kind of feels like an era of sort of like lager rock that isn't. Do you know what I mean? Like when Kasabian was like a sort of new and hot, fresh thing. Do you know what I mean?
That feels.
Yeah. I saw them at a festival last year. They sort of they had like a bit of Insomnia in there now. They've got like dance music as part of their set now. It's gone mad. Yeah. I don't know.
When everyone started doing that, I mean, everyone realizes that EDM's like the way forward.
Okay, right. We've got the big game is not far from starting. JJ, do you want to go over to the board and do some team stuff?
Sure.
Fantastic. Also, when the game starts, you've got some headphones there on the table that you can use to listen to the commentary, because otherwise we're trying to avoid broadcasting anything we shouldn't by accident. Have you been able to watch much of the World Cup so far?
Yeah, I've watched. I sort of at the start of it. I don't know about you. With some of the politics around it, I was sort of trying to not let it get me.
Right.
But it does just get you, doesn't it? It does just get you quite quickly. It's like, oh yeah, this is too good, man. Yeah, I've been watching quite a lot of it recently. I've been staying up later than I should.
It's exactly what happened with Qatar as well. I remember the lead up to Qatar. Maybe the whole 4 weeks before it, all of the pieces that were published, all the videos were about the circumstances of the World Cup, the stadiums being built,
the workers,
all of that stuff. And then it's pretty much as soon as the football started, it just takes you over, doesn't it? It's the best sports washing event of all time.
Yeah. There is a reason that some of these nations invest in it. It does work. Football, it will get you, football.
Totally, yeah.
Because also by sort of 2-3 weeks in, if you're not watching, you kind of feel left out. Right, like it consumes people. It becomes a sort of focus of conversation.
My wife doesn't appear to feel left out.
She doesn't.
No, and I'm not even in the house all day. She's absolutely fine.
Of course, you're not allowed back in the house.
Of course.
All day. Yes.
Yeah. That's
just leave that there and let people imagine why that might be.
I am allowed in the house. JJ, are you ready to show us through the teams?
Yes, there's a player's name I've forgotten, which I wanted to mention, but we're going to ignore that.
Let's zone in on that player. Who is it?
It was the lad who did very well. I think made his
Mbappe.
No, he made his full debut for Paraguay in the last game. He was great in defence.
I'm already lost.
I can't remember his name, and I can't remember if that stat's even true. So good job on a live stream.
I haven't actually seen the teams. Who is starting for France?
Well, for France, I think we should start with Paraguay. They're the home team.
All right, start with Paraguay.
Come on now, favouring the big teams.
Yes.
Like a true dictator.
Yes.
They're going to line up in a 5-4-1, I think. So a lot of people list them as a 5-3-2, but I don't see it because there's no second striker. Cubas and Diego Gomez are definitely central midfielders. Another thing I've seen in different... I'm just calling out all the formation places out because they've got it wrong. Because Almiron will start on the right because he always does, and Galarza will be on the left like he always does. I think. I'd be very surprised if that's not what happens.
Okay.
This is going to be... you're going to see a Paraguay team trying very much to derail France at all times.
Hope so.
They are not as good as France.
No.
But they are going to make sure that France are fully aware that each of those individual players are there. They're going to say hi to them in varying levels of friendliness.
I mean, this is something that not all teams that have played against France have managed so far in the World Cup.
Well, this is the thing. And having a back five it makes sense. I was reading about this earlier. I can't remember who wrote it, so sorry for stealing your work. But what you get is with France, there's a lot of... this whole relationist versus positional argument. Basically, he's just letting the attackers roam around because then they can create things themselves. It's lovely to watch. So you'll get like Mbappe, Dembele, and Elise will all mix and merge, and you might have the other person holding the width. You always have someone holding width on the other side, but other players will push forward.
Sounds pretty positional to me.
Well, I mean, what is it? It's just playing football, right? You have players in different positions, but they're relating close by to each other. I don't know. I don't get it. The whole thing's fine.
I think both of them are a combination of both of them. I mean, that's the...
Yeah, I think probably exactly the same. I think having one or the other, but I'm sure there's an extreme version. Anyway, it's not a debate for me to have because I don't belong in that world. So here we go. But then what you get is them dancing around, and so what you want probably, because the most dangerous passes are going to be through these half spaces. So a lot of teams target the areas between the full-back and the centre-back. But if you've got a centre-back in that area, therefore, you'll have to do it to this bit instead.
Yeah,
so
sure.
A slight deviation, that'll be fine. This will be again, I've been wrong most times. I've said I think this is what the game will look like.
Yeah.
But what it'll actually look like is him attacking him, just trying to make the game horrible and break it down. Yeah. The new rules that you've got in place, you can't pretend to be injured for a length of time.
You mean you can't stay down unless otherwise you have to go off the field for a minute?
Yeah, I think that'll make a difference today because normally if you're Paraguay, you'd be like, whenever you get a chance to go down, just milk it, let it last a bit longer than it needs to, and you can slow things down and derail them. Because if France get into a rhythm and start pinging the ball about and passing it everywhere, that's when they'll be in trouble. And Ciso is a lone striker I'm not sure about. I'd imagine he'll drop deep to try and help them get out of attacks. And again, this is where normally trying to look for a big target man to play off of. But I think this is what will happen is he'll have to drop in deep. When they attack, France are just, I mean, obviously they're so good and they've got so many great players that'll be able to pull them apart.
Yeah.
So if they're going to beat them, they'll do something like what Cape Verde did and just go with like full passion, full aggression, make it horrible to play against, and then charge forward, take your chances, Almiron run, ping one in from 30 yards. That's the most likely thing. And Cisso's their creative main hub, but he's also their only striker. So
yeah,
if I'm correct.
Well, I guess also like the thing that we saw in France's last game against Austria. No, who did France play last?
Austria.
It was Austria.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't.
No, it
That
wasn't. Sweden.
Sweden.
Was simply that Elise and Mbappe just combined to find space that wasn't.
It took them a while to break into it, but yeah, it takes them a while to get into it in that game. About 30 minutes in, when they started to they just took off. They just sort of like let Sweden come into they let the line into the house.
Yeah.
They let it roam around, and they're like, "This line's useless."
Right.
And then they could just score goals. That's
right.
Perfect analogy.
There you go.
Also, so there are some changes in the last game. Tchouaméni's not there.
Right.
Kone's in. And I bet you're going to ask me, why is that?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I bet it's because...
I was going to ask, because Rabiot played instead of Kone in the last game, right? So this is like now a third rotation.
So now they're in here. So like Tchouaméni sits mostly at the back, or he'll just sort of patrol this area here.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a reason for it that's to do with suspension or injury. I don't think so. But I think most of it is going to be that Rabiot will go to the last line quite a lot, but Kone will win the ball and then move forward with it. So Tchouaméni tends to win it and play a very sideways, normal, safe pass.
He can beat players too, JJ, as well.
Kone?
Yeah.
That's specifically what I mean, yeah. So he'll win it and
such
go
a
past
useful
people.
sub to have in there because he's like, I remember when he was at Gladbach, really, really great player, expected to go straight to the Premier League, never really worked out. But last couple of years at Roma, he's become exactly the player he's supposed to, so I can't wait to watch him.
Yeah. I think you'll see a lot of Dembele dropping out to drag the players with him, and Koundé will overlap, and you'll probably get Kone going in these positions here. Elise trying to pull out wide. All these forwards will probably pull out to different areas that you don't expect them of to try and pull markers with them, and then that's when unlikely players like Digne and Koundé will turn up. But I mean, Paraguay will know that, so they'll also be expecting that. So maybe they won't.
Perfect. All right, thanks, JJ. He comes to sit back down. There we go. I was just, I'm going to stick my headphones on to listen to the commentary now, but I was just enjoying seeing the shot of the VARs who no longer are allowed to look at the camera. I don't know if you noticed the difference with those, Jacob.
Oh, they're not allowed to turn in their little office.
At the beginning, they were.
Stand and focus now.
Yeah. So like at the beginning, they were looking at the camera, but then I think one of them made a symbol that he wasn't supposed to make, and now they're all forced to just pretend that the camera.
We should say he said it was an inadvertent symbol.
It was inadvertent.
He wasn't trying to communicate.
What was it? Was it a sort of ring with his fingers?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
What is that? Does that mean something bad that I should stop talking?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I think in the 90s...
Younger, smarter people on the internet said it wasn't a good symbol.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, sorry.
I think it's a symbol that has sort of like, to my knowledge, has changed in meaning over time.
Right.
And, but who knows, yeah. Anyway, he said it was an inadvertent, but every time I see them now, just staring at the screen and not at the camera makes me laugh.
I'd quite like if they brought that in for the Premier League next season. So I'm still of the understanding that in the Premier League, the VARs are in a van somewhere.
Yeah. Aren't they in Stockley Park? Are they in like mobile homes in Stockley
No,
Park?
it's like if you built your own sort of Sim City, like business district. That's kind of what Stockley Park's like, with sort of artificial lakes and stuff. And it's this very nondescript 5-story building.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was the van, man. There's something beautifully English about a camera just sort of panning from the outside of a stadium.
Okay, we have commentary now. If you want to hear, you can choose not to. Some people prefer the silence.
I like the silence.
I don't like the silence.
I can't do both. I can't do the live and the commentary.
Really?
So yeah,
I'm very used to tuning people out. I don't know.
Too many voices.
Can't imagine how.
Just an extra
Don't
one.
add one in there.
Can't multitask. Jacob, have you ever upset anybody on your podcast? Like, because I've watched some of the clips. I've seen like you take aim at a couple of people.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever kind of?
Oh yeah. Oh, we've had all sorts. Yeah. I mean, we try and for people who aren't aware, I do a podcast with another comedian where we talk about social media, and we sort of focus on a different social media star each week, and we always try and find something redeeming and lovable about the people we talk about. But then naturally, we do end up taking the mick quite a lot. But yeah, people have sort of fired back. There was a dating host. A dating host. He's like a dating coach. Oh, probably Nate. He's called Gary Gunn.
I don't know him.
I mean, I'd recommend checking it out. It's fantastic stuff. He pays female actors to stand next to him, and he sort of coaches you through how to chat them up. It's great stuff. And we obviously did an episode taking the mick a bit. And he basically sent us an email where he'd pretended to be a member of his own staff who we worked out didn't exist, threatening us with legal action from the office of Gary Gunn if we didn't give him £200. And it's just not quite enough money to believe it's real.
I've heard a lot of people do that, though, when they don't have an agent or representative.
Saliba, who immediately is forced towards the dead ball line by Diego Gomez. They were swarming round Saliba there, but he did very well to find Kone in a pocket of space, and France elegantly play the ball out of the defensive third and into the midfield. Jules Koundé charges over the halfway line. He's still going here, Koundé, and it's played across to Mbappe, who can't quite reach it. Hammered away by Omar Alderete. An early warning for Paraguay, Mark.
Absolutely, and I think that Mbappe had a bit of a fresh air shot, but I think he was just the defender just did enough with his foot to interfere with him swinging at it. But yeah, warning right away.
Good noise in the stands. There's a France fan just to our left who's jumping up and down enthusiastically. A lot of neutrals here today. I've seen a lot of United States shirts in the crowd. Earlier today at the World Cup, Canada 0, Morocco 3. So Morocco are through to the quarterfinals. They will play the winners of this time. Kone, number 6 for France. Edge of the area is Mbappe. A loose ball from Mbappe, intercepted by Kubas in the middle of midfield. Headed down by Kone, out to the right-hand side, and Jules Koundé again, and Dembele pops it back to Upamecano. And France playing from right to left with about 3/4 of the pitch bathed in this heavy sunshine, are dominating possession and territory in the early stages. Floated forward by Rabiot, header away again by Sunderland's Alderete.
Joe, we can see already that, even when Paraguay win the ball back, there's nobody to play to. They're playing a little bit blind and then just sitting in there. They can't, they need to have real control of the ball before they can get to Enciso, but otherwise they're just returning it back to French possession, and that's, it's one of these things, it's just a matter of time then.
Didier Deschamps watching on edge of the technical area in his dark suit. Not sure how you manage a dark suit in this sort of weather, but well done to him. Likewise, Gustavo Alfaro, the Paraguay head coach. Upamecano finds himself in the wing position. The giant central defender, little 1-2 with the nippy Elise. Elise, quite an elusive figure when it comes to speaking to the media, but such a brilliant player to watch, and one of the highlights of this France run so far. 5 assists already across the tournament for Michael Elise. Upamecano. France are playing this whole game so far deep inside the Paraguay half. Fleet-footed Elise trying to jink away from Galaza out on the Paraguay left. They've doubled up on Elise, and already just 3 minutes in, they're defending the edge of their 18-yard box here, Paraguay. Scampering down the right is Elise. Floats in the high cross up towards Rabiot. Velázquez got his head to it. Now Mbappe on the edge of the penalty area. Can't bring the ball under control. Diego Gomez plays it forward. Almiron runs into Lucadinha. No ambition whatsoever from Paraguay in these early stages as the ball is hoisted hopefully downfield, and Ciso will chase. Header into touch by William Saliba, 0-0.
Well, it managed to put France under pressure just by a simple ball over the top, and Ciso chased him down and he had to head it into touch. Now they're up the pitch, that might be one of the ways they can get up, because otherwise, trying to play up to a player is impossible because there's no one up there.
The set plays, of course, will be key for Paraguay. 2 of their 3 goals at this World Cup have come from set plays. Long throw into the penalty area, headed away by Arsenal's Saliba again. The ball will drop in the edge of the D, where it's gathered up by Dembele. He knocks it all the way back to Magnon in bright yellow, the France goalkeeper. Quite a leisurely warm-up for both teams. A longer warm-up than usual, but certainly not at the same level of intensity that you would normally expect. And that, I'm sure, is in recognition of the sweltering conditions here. Still 1 or 2 fans taking their seats around us. France have it with Kone. Angle ball out to the right to Jules Koundé.
Paraguay brief foray forward. Ciso is dispossessed here, Saliba.
It looks like Paraguay just said, France, you can keep the ball. 5 defenders, playing 5 at the back. Look at that. France is going to have to find a way to produce something special to break that defense, because they did the same thing against Germany and they were successful. But France is a much better team. They played a really team football compared to the Germans. Oh, Mbappe is cooking. Quick step over and a nutmeg. Yeah. A quick meg.
For the corner kick by Miguel Almiron. Sharp, isn't he, Mbappe? We know how quick he is over the first couple of yards. Looked a little bit of trickery, but it's all about drawing players out of position when they're static, and Mbappe is arguably the best.
Trying to dead their confidence already. Like, it just met them in the middle of the park. Like, there's nothing he could do.
Thought about trying to keep that in play and then fell over it. French throw though. Smiling Mbappe in the middle. Kone. Well, might he be smiling? 18 goals in 18 World Cup appearances in his career. And Kone showed good feet. Kunde here. Kone was knocked over right on the edge of the area. I think Diego Gomez was the culprit if that was a foul. Still down, Manu Kone. French players don't seem to be too bothered now. He's back on his feet. Good time to play by Juan Jose Cáceres for Paraguay. Stepped inside from Barcola, but he stepped inside into trouble. Well, Gustavo Velasquez just conceding possession deep inside his own half of the field. What they may won't do today, Steve, is they won't apologise for being ugly and hard to play against. They're here to try and win this game by any means. Kude. Eventually, in Boston, they got under the German skin by nullifying the game. Wasn't the greatest watch. Then they nicked a goal. Germany, although Kai Havertz scored, of course, went down on the penalty kicks for the first time in their World Cup history. Cáceres here. It's Cisa. Almiron.
They can't get out. Probably can't get out. France, they play with so much class here. Dembele now with the ball.
This French side has a swagger, and I would say
like they play with no defense, France. Or everyone is up top.
They absolutely do, because they've got match winners who can change the game in an instant, like this guy. Manu Kone, Jules Koundé, Dembele, Alonso in front of him, Dembele. Going outside of Galata, getting a decent cross in, which is headed up by
It's going to be top four.
Rabiot's hoping it might fall his way. Then he falls to the ground. And that's the question of the referee from Uzbekistan, Ilgiz Chantashev.
It's going to be top for Paraguay in this game.
Lukatin with the ball in.
He can't keep the ball for even 2 seconds. Oh, Mbappe. He tried it, but he failed. Good player for him.
This is what they wanted. Rabiot saying now there's a push, but I don't think that's enough. Anywhere near enough from Caceres. Steve. Neatly brought down by Cisa. They'll say the officials, but he's going to have to do a lot of that. Julian Cisa was just trying to win a throw, and wasn't he just trying to take his team and park, but he's done a little bit of relief. Olise is drifted wide. Koundé might provide an overlap. Olise skips inside one. Ousmane Dembele here. Oh! Made the run and it just dropped over his head. He might have just gotten a little bit too early. I don't know whether he did, you know, Steve. I thought it was very well timed initially from Barcola. I think he's offside. There you go. The ball from Dembele is just a fraction off, ever so slightly, but that's how you get beyond the tight line, a compressed unit. You have to sometimes play over the top. We saw a run from Lise a little bit earlier on. That one there from Barcola. Deschamps, who we saw there, could become the first coach ever to win 10 knockout matches at World Cups if they win today.
Rabiot, for some reason, is underrated. You know, I've never ever seen him. Oh, yeah, Rabiot is so underrated. That's what I was saying before. I don't know if it's because he's not flamboyant. Just not. Takes the ball away from him when Cody thinks he's going to just carry on with his left foot. Like, uses the outside of the boot to shield the ball. Compare Rabiot to it because it gives them an opportunity. So since he plays in that French team, it must be really, really, really useful to them. It must be really, really good to the French coach for him to take it. And Rabiot has not missed a game for France for quite some time. So, but at the same time, you don't see him winning Champions League, you don't see him winning. I mean, he'll win, like, obviously, come on. Oh, it's too many. They all go back. They all go back. Paraguay's turned up the dirty. They played dirty.
They'll have to be very wary of that counter-attack from their own set pieces. Paraguay.
Someone,
just got blister and pace.
I'll tell you what, Mbappe will unleash a 25-year screamer in this game. 35 years, 25 year screamer in this game. I can see it because that's what's gonna take to beat this team. Because everyone is behind the ball. 11 men behind the ball. 11 men behind the ball there. That's why when they get the ball, right, when they pick the ball up from French players, they can't really go forward because there's no one there to pass the ball to. But a screamer will win this game. 25-year screamer. Dembele can do it. Mbappe can do it. Orisi can do it. Bacola can do it. Doué can do it. There are so many match winners in this team. It's crazy.
Almiron playing it. Castro's rather playing it at the line, but nowhere near Miguel Almiron.
Paraguay is it's kind of like an odd country in South America. Like, you don't hear a lot of things about them like you hear about Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, you know, Colombia. But they're deep in there, in their business. They go about their business in a way that matches like a lot of other countries that, you know. I don't want to be political here, but the way Paraguay do their business.
Finding a little bit of room, then chopping onto his
Here we go, France. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to sound too political here, but Paraguay is a country that like does business like, I think they dominate certain part of their surroundings where people don't mess about with them because they know what they're capable of. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like I say, you don't hear anything about them. So, you don't hear anything. The same thing that we accuse Argentina for, those same things are happening in Paraguay. So they're the same sort of like country that will commit the same crimes But Argentina, for some reason, is always talked about. You know, being,
An heroic one at Paraguay.
Very discriminatory country. Whilst Paraguay as well, they're deep in that. They're so deep in that.
Dembele to Elise.
Elise, oh.
And it bounced kindly for Alderete.
So yeah, it's a very odd country. They keep themselves to themselves, but there's a lot of problems in there which they just don't show it to the rest of the world, like the Brazilians do, the Argentinians do, the Mexicans do, the Colombians, you know.
Who scored the match of the day goal of the season?
And nobody bothers them.
For Brighton, Julio Encisa, with a cracker against Manchester City.
They're almost like a yes man country, which is when you're that kind of person, nobody bothers you. Oh, that's what I mean. It's going to take something like that to block that defense. The runs, you know, the long passes, the direct passes, unexpected, something different.
Difficult ball, difficult to wait.
You see, now you got defenders thinking. You didn't even know where Mbappe was.
Very tough. Diego Gomez jumping, Saliba.
Get up, press it down.
Finding Koundé, and Gomez quickly works his way back into a defensive midfield position.
If I was...
Dembele knocks it on to Olise. Mbappe and Barcola out in the middle. Dembele's arriving as well. It's well charged down. It'll be a French.
If I was Paraguay,
both Dembele and
I'll be happy with the way things have gone so far. So almost 20 minutes, I'm not considered against war beaters. That's a poor corner kick there. What happened there?
It's really poor for Dembele because that was a great opportunity. Drive into the penalty area. So back into the heart of his defence.
What a shame.
Gustavo Gomez out to Alderete, onto Junior Alonso.
But shout out to Morocco, by the way. We qualified to they're the first team to go through it.
Every couple of minutes that goes by is a success, really, for Paraguay.
They're the new giants of Africa, whether you like them or not. You know, that's what they should have done with AFCON. If they just play their football and do without referees or without the politics in football, they should have just played their football. They would have probably won that AFCON easily. Oh, there's a yellow card there. Barcola got yellow there.
He made his mind up very early, the referee, that he was going to brandish the yellow card.
15 minutes. He didn't even touch him. Oh.
Does he touch him? I'm not sure he does. Oh my word, if that's a yellow card.
That shouldn't be a yellow at all. That should not be a yellow card.
It was certainly a swipe from Barcola, but I'm not sure there was any contact at all. And if there was, it was about as much contact as Machanovic got on that ball into the penalty area the other night. I'll bring that up, Steve. You'll have the Croatia fans ringing in. Olivier Deschamps shakes his head somewhat ruefully. It's only the second yellow card France have been shown in the course of this tournament. There was an amnesty after the group stage. He's going to take his time because they're going to slow the game down, Paraguay, and make sure that they get as much time to make sure they get the rest in, they get the communication in. Has anything gone wrong? They can have a chat on the pitch about it. But so far, so good. Well, let's face it, Gustavo Alfaro has set Paraguay the task of making this game as uneventful as they possibly can. Miguel Almiron with the forward ball. Curls away from Diego Gomez, who had an excellent season with Brighton. He's a really good midfielder, I think. Scored 10 goals for the Seagulls, 4 of them in a League Cup tie at Oakwell. He carries a threat, doesn't he, in forward areas, and he's got the need to bring that at times today, but it's more about the responsibilities.
Eventually, they're going to have to come out and play football.
It was on display in that League Cup game against Bayern.
You know what France could do? France could let them score one goal and see what they do.
is Saliba. You can't move the ball quickly all the time, not in these conditions, but there has to come a point in the game in which France have to put their foot on the gas and accelerate the movement. Yeah, they will, and they'll do it with the likes of Dembele, Elise, and Mbappe. It's making sure that you get the ball into them in areas where they can use that pace. Diego Gomez with a poke forward, and Cisse making life uncomfortable for Saliba. It's touched inside, and the stretching matches go. That's a could only poke it in
It's very awkward play right now. The play is very awkward. Paraguay are not playing football at all. Whatever they do, that's not football.
Dembele, Kone's on. Kone is fouled. Kone hits it.
That's what they have to do. If you're going to man mark Mbappe, get someone to unleash a cracker on them.
See it here as he gets that shot away. Just a little deflection off the backside. Just sends it round the post. Dembele's corner kick, well defended at the near post. I think that was Diego Gomez too. Nodded down to France's left back, Lucas Digne. Kone. Rabiot is pulled wide. Rabiot's delivery.
There's 5-6 men behind that ball.
And his bearings had dealt with it very well for Velasquez. He knew that Dembele was around about somewhere behind him. It's one of the hardest balls to defend.
They play 5-6 defenders. That's ridiculous, man.
Just deal with it. Don't take a chance and try and let it go out of play. Dembele's corner.
Oh.
Trying to reach Kylian Mbappe coming around the back. It's just a little bit too pacey for Mbappe. And the referee has signalled the hydration break, which on this occasion is very much required.
Yeah, that's what I think, because the way these guys are playing right now, they're not playing to win the game. I mean, they've got plan. But, like, I think it's Mark Tyson that said what I once said. Or is it Floyd Mayweather or Mark Tyson? Everybody has got plan. Every boxer's got plan until they get punched, until they get hit, whether they get punched. And everything goes out the window. That's what's going to happen to this team. So they get against Germany, what? But against this French team, I doubt that will work for them. It's too much on the bench as well. When you look at the bench, is stacked, it's loaded. It's a triple burger on the bench.
We have Portugal against Spain. What a cracker from Dallas, Monday, 7:30.
So if they don't score now, second half, they're going to be under so much pressure from this French team. And by the way, this French team is good at penalties as well. The keeper is good at saving penalties. So this is not that German team.
And of course, the 3D experience. If you want to see this match or indeed any match from every angle, you can follow Kylian Mbappe if you want. His every move, see the action through his eyes, scan the QR code to get the World Cup 3D experience in the BBC Sport app.
What we're going to see second half, we'll see what something that the Moroccans did to the Canadians. That's what we're going to see.
Went out. What are your thoughts so far? Well, it looks very similar to the previous game against Germany.
They had to do something different when they came out the second half, because the Canadians were on them, were coming at them, going at them like from back to front in the midfield, all shouting, why can't somebody take out the midfield? With the Moroccan side. But eventually they came back second half. That's exactly what they did. Yeah, Sabari was injured. He ran off. So it was a bit like who's going to replace those goals from Sabari. But yeah, they responded. All the three subs that came in, they all scored and assisted. So Morocco, yeah, also big threat. Also big threat. So if France win today, they'll get to meet Morocco again. If you remember, they eliminated Morocco a few years ago. In the World Cup, he knocked them out. So that'll be interesting. But this Moroccan team is more mature now, it's more experienced. So it'll be difficult for France to beat them. And they all play each other in France. They know each other. Most of the players in Morocco, most of them are European players. They were born in Europe. They were born in France, the Netherlands, Germany. So they all know each other.
Orlando Gil of San Lorenzo in Argentina takes this goal kick. You won't believe how quiet he's been. The Paraguay goal, nothing to do really. Probably just a lot of communication from.
One thing that pissed me off yesterday is the Ghanaian team.
He's not happy with in front of him.
Ghana, right? The Ghanaian players, they should hang their heads in shame. I'm not even joking. The Ghanaian players were embarrassing, bro. Oh, here they come, Paraguay. Here they come. They've got a chance. They've got a chance on the break. Oh, no. Nah, too easy. Too easy for France. Oh, they still got it. They've still got a ball. Wow. Yeah, so the Ghanaian team, they were so embarrassing to watch this morning, right? 4 o'clock, just imagine, after watching Cape Verde, which was one of the best football matches I've ever seen, right? And then I paid myself by watching the Ghanaian team got knocked out by Colombia. They're so embarrassing, bro. You know what pisses me off about that game? Is the fact that against England, these guys showed that they like tactically they equipped to play against top teams, to stop big teams, to stop teams like England play football. Right? They put everything into that game just to stop England from winning, from beating them. Right? But then when it come against teams of their level, right? And they were so embarrassing, bro. They were so embarrassing. I felt like they played as if they were all drunk. Or they deal with. Oh! Close, that's close. France are knocking on the doors, man. They're knocking on the doors. But that pissed me off. If you're Ghanaian and you support, that manager needs sacking.
Holding off Miguel Almiron, holding off Gomez.
That Ghanaian manager, whatever his name, Carlos Queiroz, from former Manchester United manager. The Ghanaian FA should sack him. It's absolutely embarrassing. He shouldn't draw against England. You stopped England from scoring against you. And then you played against Colombia. You played against Colombia.
Paraguay defenders, you have to get runners into the box when you know you've got Elise and
ball.
Dembele on the ball. Rabiot has to break the lines. He has to get in behind, or whether
That
it's
was
the opposite
embarrassing to
winger,
us.
Barcola.
I should have just, go to sleep after the Cape Verde game, because that was brilliant. Even though they lost the game, but they gave us so much. They gave us something to talk about. They gave us something for the next 4 years to the next World Cup. They're not going to be physical again. Physical. France needs to step their game up.
Very good tactical fouls,
The
Paraguay.
Cape Verde team. Oh, Makalele.
Claude
Claude Makalele is on there. He's watching.
Best number 6s ever, I would say. Well, not many people have a role named
But
after the
Ghana.
It was no
Ghana.
Makalele
I never ever want to see you play football again at any international stage. It's absolutely embarrassing. Oh, I need that base again.
If you make contact, didn't make enough. Good ball in now. That's a beauty. An absolute beauty of a ball. He's thinking, how have I not scored? I think the defending's really good. Alderate, I think it is. Or it might actually be Diego Gomez, who just gets alongside him. He gets a nudge on his shoulder of Mbappe. It's a really good touch.
There.
Just puts him off.
Missed opportunity.
Sisso's managed to get his head on that. Saliba's boot. Didn't win that little battle. It was Sisso's head that did it. He's been a pest, isn't he? He's making life so difficult for centre halves of France, and it's exactly what you want. It's just how long can he do that for?
I don't even feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for them to get knocked out. You know, those players, whatever happened in their camp, just basically something was off. Something was off. They have the opportunity to watch the highlight and see how Ghana play Colombia. I woke up this morning, I was like, what the heck? Why did I waste my time watching them? You know, they were rubbish against England anyway. All they did was play a low block. Everyone was a defender. Everyone just defended against England. And that pisses me off so much. Like, we want to watch football, we want to watch people play football, but then all you can do is defend. Like, you watch Morocco, right? Morocco is a different breed against. Oh, listen, what a cheeky serve that. That Tommy was so great. Well, listen, bro. One that got away from England. Ah, look at that.
Got a better option behind him in Rabiot. Superb skill. Not even touching the ball. And Sisso again. Brilliant free kick. You don't have to be the biggest. You've got to know how to use your body and how to hold and grab a player. And he does extremely well because we know how physical Saliba can be. But when you don't let him get past you, you hold your position, you stand your ground, you're strong in your legs. That's exactly what you can do.
Tottenham have signed Matheus Fernandes. They paid 900 million for that guy. Are you mad? West Ham, they love in life right now.
Not happy because
West Ham is selling players for big money.
He was being impeded, so he couldn't get to his feet quickly.
Whilst that owner is in court, you know,
so streetwise from
for allegedly abusing women.
Frustrate France. Allow myself to get back into position. Rabiot for Lucati. Mbappe. Slightly being fouled. There's not too happy about it. There's Kubas with the foul on Kylian Mbappe. The referee gave it immediately. Mbappe wasn't going to allow the referee to be the only one who had a say about it. And this will delight Paraguay because they know that France are getting just a little bit irritated by proceedings. They're under the skin. That's exactly what they want. They want that reaction. They want retaliation. It means that France are frustrated. It's unlike Kylian Mbappe to be frustrated, but again, it's another tactical foul. It's slowing the play down. It's frustrating the French. And it is a foul. It's a clear foul from Kubas. I don't know how it's not a yellow card, actually. I don't think he's been given one. No. There's not too much in it between the two players, is there? It was the reaction of everyone else. There you go. I'll enjoy it. Into the last 10 minutes of normal time in the first half in Philadelphia. We're goalless.
They're playing a really dirty game.
Olise, lovely
ball
that is, and it's a bit of for a corner. Well, that created a bit of chaos, sprinkling uncertainty around the Paraguayan penalty area. Dembele's corner, it's that one to the back post again. It's Jules Koundé who takes it on.
Shot on target there, shot on target.
He wanted it on his right foot rather than his left. Again, here we go. Paraguay players.
It's just time wasting, man.
Making the most of it.
Time wasting.
Down again. Goalkeeper's got his eye on it all the way as he hits it into the floor. Gustavo Gomez, somewhat reluctantly, has got back to his feet. It's a beautiful ball from Elise, wasn't it? Equally, the defendant's just as good because Upamecano thinks he's got to tap in at that back post. Velasquez making sure that he gets a vital control.
He's mad. Smart. Time wasted. 5 defenders on the pitch. 2 older midfielders. Make that 7 defenders. Right, this is not football. This is like almost watching Arsenal play PSG in the finals of the Champions League. These guys don't play football. You know, they think it's a street fight. That's what they're doing here. King Friday play football. They play better football than these guys. Honestly.
If he does cut it, he needs a little bit more in terms of runners into the box. Again, it was just Mbappe, Elise, a little bit late to the party there. Cutting to Elise, brilliant pressure. Yeah, matches Galazza took it away from him. Here's Enciso. One by Upamecano, referee's happy there's no foul there.
Elise is losing the ball that is lost in the midfield.
Here's Almiron.
Oh, look at that guy that just went down. Look at him getting off because they've got the ball advantage now.
Almiron an option and he's done really well to get in front of Saliba. He's trying to get a corner, he can't quite do it. Heavy legs, just tired legs there. He just wants to slow himself down and try and take his team a corner or a throw in.
It's a good game for it's good watching France, but absolutely ridiculous watching this.
Off the ball on the back. Goes looking for goal. The referee's going to return to what happened off the ball.
They played a dirty game, man. They played absolute nasty game. Watch this, right? Mbappe was running towards the. He hit him. That's a violent. That's a violent conduct. That's violent conduct.
His arm really, doesn't he? And Mbappe holds his chest, but Dembele tries to drift inside, get that shot away. Agonizingly close as it takes the deflection and goes past that far post. I mean, Galazza is absolutely guilty. I mean, there's a couple of yellow cards I think France will feel that Paraguay could have had, particularly given the bar which was set.
He literally covered him.
Dembele's going to take this French corner. Get with pace to the back post. And the referee says goal kick. Whilst Mbappe was suggesting that he was being blocked off. Yeah, he wants a foul. He's saying he's got hands all over me. Velasquez, yeah. It's not Velasquez, it's Caceres.
He's not even looking at the ball.
Not looking at the ball, but he does release just in time. Mbappe feels that there's more contact than there should be. Not sure how mad I'd make Mbappe. Oh, don't need hesitation there. Upamecano finally took control, and Ciso will chase absolutely anything.
They play a dirty football, man. I hate watching football like this. I swear down. I don't care what people say you go win a football match, but this is not football. They're just kicking the ball as if they're amateur footballers. This is your job.
That's 5 minutes of normal time in the first half.
He wasn't even looking at the ball.
Rabiot to Barcola. No Tchouameni today. Thigh injury in training yesterday. Marcus Thuram still injured as he was for the Sweden game. Not sure how long either of those injuries are. France aren't saying. Koundé with a cross.
Corner.
Charge behind. for the corner kick by Alderete. Steps up just in the nick of time, doesn't he? Trying to take things quickly and get 2v1 situations. So you can see Enciso then again, just encroaching, making sure he slows everything down. Scored more than once in any of their last 7 World Cup games, Paraguay. That corner comes in, Kiel did well to get the glove on that. It was pretty congested. Koundé charged down. Lucadine too close to Orlando Hill. Well, initially with the corner kick, and now he's rolled one out quickly for his team to get away.
Oh, good play by Paraguay.
By Almiron to Golazza. Enciso's been knocked over by Saliba. Diego Gomez was not too far away from getting on to that. It's probably a little bit quick and powerful, the pass.
They are punishing Paraguay though with the play. They make sure they Paraguay is draining them or every energy there. That's what they do. Right, proper draining.
And that match momentum graph illustrating just how much France have dominated in terms of possession. But in terms of attempts, it's actually 3-2 in France's favour only. Dembele.
They're doubling up on Dembele. Olise has lost about 4 good balls there now. Counting. Again, doubling up again on them.
Galazza nicking it from Dembele. Work rate's phenomenal from Paraguay.
France again frustrated. You can see the frustration in their faces. The man marking Mbappe.
Go to Meccano. Koné.
Shoot!
Koné.
Oh, too high.
Well off target, actually. But sometimes you're going to have to get some long-range strikes away to start bringing out midfielders out of the back line. You can almost throw a blanket over the Paraguay players. They're all sat in a bunch right on the edge of the box.
They're such a dirty team, man. I don't even know what I can compare this team to.
The American-only World Cup of 1994, France. It's the last time they didn't qualify.
This is what's done watching Ghana last night. This morning.
Course of their failure to book a place in the States.
If it wasn't them playing France, I wouldn't be watching them play at all. If Paraguay was playing on any other team, I mean, like Sweden, Norway, I wouldn't be watching them at all because they're not playing football. Like, it's so boring.
Here, Dembele closed down by Alonso. Galazza has just been brilliant. It just felt like Koundé made the wrong run there. Leave Dembele in a 1v1 situation. He just helped out Paraguayan defence. Brilliant press.
Oh, here they come. But they can't match France with the skills and talent. See,
just wait and commit the defender.
They try the physicality side, they try bullying them, but it's not working. Now watch Mbappe get this ball. He's gonna pin his Elastron.
Kylian Mbappe to Rabiot.
They need to be patient with the ball, France. They might not score anything in this half, but second half they'll have to change the tactics. Oh.
Rabiot again, hit it, deflected.
Bro, he's 10 man behind the ball. 10 man behind the ball.
Players constantly getting up to the ball and closing down. To a man, Paraguay have been exceptional. It's not been pretty, it's been effective. Healer they clear its way downfield. There's just the minimum of 3 added minutes as Olise finds Barcola.
Oh, they're megging them left and right.
Manu Koné for Jules Koundé. Koné.
He gave you away. Conte gave you away. But then there's no support for Paraguay. This is what I mean when you have 10, 11 from behind the ball. When you finally win, still going.
Makes the challenge and it's gone out of play off Julio Enciso.
Still going, still going.
He thought he'd won the throw. Yeah, he's absolutely. He was turning around, telling the crowd to get up behind his team. He did brilliantly against Upamecano, but you can see there, just nicks off his toe, out for a French throw-in. My South American geography, I'm afraid, doesn't extend to whether there are beaches in Paraguay. There are some landlocked countries on it. For example, you can't take a boat to Bolivia. But if they do have beaches,
see that.
I think it's the dog throwing the sticks for these boys, and they're the ones chasing them. Yeah, absolutely. Here's Rabiot.
Mbappe switching sides with Dembele here.
Koenig. Luca Di. Paraguay is a landlocked country. Thank you for the information. Well, this half, as we approach the last few seconds of it, has gone exactly the way that Gustavo Alfaro would have wanted it to go. Oh, 100%.
What are they?
Would have dreamt of this performance last night, hoped for it.
They did this exact same thing against Germany, bro. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 man by the ball. So there's no way to. Someone's got to have to take a hit from outside the box.
International football is extremely hard, and I think there's been a lot of critics.
And Mbappe's capable of that. Take a hit from outside the box.
French teams we've seen in a long time, arguably the best football we've seen in world football. We're really struggling to break down a stubborn, organised, well-drilled team. They are wrapped up in a Paraguayan spider's web at the moment. Koundé away to Dembele. Look at Garlatza making that run to come back and help out his mate Alonso. Koundé. Flicked up by Barcola, cleared away by Velasquez and the referee.
Wow, they managed to put them to a drop there for that half. We'll be right back for the second half.
His face doesn't show it, but he will be a very, very satisfied man indeed. Half time in the Philadelphia Heat. It's Paraguay 0, it's France 0.
Well, it's frustrating for the French, and I suppose as well, Joe, it's frustrating for the neutral, isn't it? But the Paraguay are doing what they need to do.
Definitely watching TiVo.
We go. That's it. That's half time.
Well done.
Well done to Paraguay. How about that? Okay. Hey, Jacob Hawley, are you up for playing at EAFC 26?
I'm going to go and do some live. I'm going to do some briefing work.
That's right, because you're actually working.
It's more just a level of importance.
Right.
You know, just
that means you have to leave the room.
Gravitas, you know.
That.
And I could obviously just leave the room, but I'm gonna just have a moment to talk about leaving the room.
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? You've earned it, I think.
I'm gonna make a cup of tea and then I'll go and sit over there.
That would be great, yeah. Because I also,
I'd love. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd love. Can I have an Earl Grey? Is that right?
If there
Earl
is
Grey for Jacob Hawley.
Do you have?
No,
there is. No.
I mean, if not, milk.
What if there
milk
wasn't?
and 1 sugar's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then when you come back, I'll go to the loo.
Great.
Yeah, how about that?
Can we play EFC 26?
Yeah, we're going to do it at half time.
I was great.
I can.
Yeah.
A little bit of milk, please. Thank you.
And to be clear, can I have one of those little espressos that you did? Thank you very much.
JJ, are you up for playing this game?
I'd love to play the game, yeah.
Great.
Do you want to do a full game or do you want to play the rush thing they've got?
Rush is 5x5.
A normal game would be good. I haven't played this in 10 years.
Yep.
Okay.
I was saying earlier that this is. I was reminiscing recently that I think playing FIFA as a teenager was the best times of my life. I don't think as it was FIFA at the time. Obviously, FC 26 now, but
That's right.
I don't think I'd ever been happier than when I was playing that game as a teenager.
Apart from the birth of your children.
Yeah,
wedding day,
that's
those
right. But
those
honestly,
sorts of
I had
things.
so much good time. Career mode, you know, and it was always that thing of like you'd see a player linked to someone on the sort of like a sort of gossip column, a transfer gossip column, and then you'd be like, oh, I'll buy them.
What controls did you use? Do you remember?
I'm not sure if I even remember.
There you go. You can
10
search for them.
years. Right.
So I use the Pro Evo ones, which are the alternate ones, because our game at uni was always Pro Ev.
Yeah. So, is this me now?
This is you.
Yeah.
Right. I want.
So classic is the one where shoot is a circle.
I want that.
Okay.
No. I want that. Yes.
Incidentally, for the next.
This is Pro Evo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I used to play a bit of Pro Evo as well.
So it'll be the same thing. Your running button is currently set to R2. If you've not played in a while, you might want to move it to R1 if you'll mix for you.
Oh no, 10 years ago it was R2, wasn't it?
I think I was R2.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But then so this is where I'm weird. I do that.
Oh, that is weird.
So I'm slide tackle on the square.
That's what I do.
But shoot on the square as well.
Yeah. I think it's just specific. How old are you?
34.
It's a specific age thing.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So if I go back now, that will save that.
It'll
right?
save it as you can save it as going empty. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. And then you've got to change yours as well, JJ.
Oh, I changed mine to alternate. Yeah.
Incidentally, I'm gonna head into the chat, the live chat. If anybody wants to ask any questions, make any comments, ask Jacob anything, ask JJ anything, I'll pay attention for the next 5 minutes.
Right. Okay. So what we do is we go to the national bit, and then we get 3 randoms.
Okay.
Best of 3. You can't go back though.
Okay. So for the league.
So this will be for like every single club in the.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, cool.
So you can't go back, but you get 3 goes. So we go 3, 2, 1.
1.
I don't like that for you, Jacob. I think you should go again.
I'm going to roll the dice.
Look at that badge.
That is such a cool badge.
Can you remember that?
The Tianjin
Jinmin
badge.
Tiger. I need to remember that. I'm going to go again.
You should randomize again. Oh, Neom, the Saudi team.
That's the fastest team in the East.
The fastest growing team.
Yeah.
They've got. They're the one where they're building that stadium on the line. You know that thing, the line.
I'm going for one more.
We'll talk about the line later. You should go again.
I'm
going to roll the dice again.
Oh,
lovely.
I think a special additional one there for Jacob. What do you think?
I might be in trouble here.
No? Okay, fine. Oh, wait, you were on the right?
Yeah.
I'm on the right, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
So here
we go.
Okay, fine.
10 years I haven't played this game. I think you'll be all right, JJ.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, hello, Paul Ansorge in the chat.
Back.
There he is.
What colour am I again?
What does JJ stand for?
Jingle Jangles.
Jingle Jangle Ball.
Oh my God, this feels incredible.
Someone wants me to ask you about your biggest regrets, JJ, but I'm not going to do that. Very rude.
Oh, there's loads of them, yeah.
Very rude. What are Jacob's thoughts on Trossard leaving? I'm actually going to ask him that later on the podcast. That's in those top tier thoughts. So hold on to that.
I will just say, by the way, that, like playing this game, it feels so good. Do you know honestly what happened? I got in like a serious relationship 10 years ago.
Oh no!
And I decided, and I think I was right to. You know, we're getting married in a month, and we've got 3 children together.
Congratulations!
But I sold the PlayStation as soon as I got with her.
Right.
So I was like,
very, very grown up.
Yeah, but this feels incredible.
It
feels so good.
I know.
Oh my God, what have I been doing?
I think, you could treat yourself.
You've earned it.
There's so many good games out there,
Got
Jacob.
a successful podcast.
Absolutely.
Many years of successful stand-up.
Joe, when will you do a Rest is History link up about Warwick Castle? As soon as I am asked. Anybody wants to talk to me about Warwick Castle at any point? I'll be there. Have you been to Warwick Castle, Jacob Hawley?
I've not been to the castle. I've been to Warwick.
You've been to Warwick?
Yes.
So is there anything else in Warwick?
I mean, I've just been to the little theatre where they do.
Yeah.
They have shows and stuff.
Yeah, I bet some people from the castle came to see you.
Well, I was supporting Jamali Maddox. I don't know if you know him.
I know him.
No.
Yeah. I don't know if he had any castle people in. I don't know if he's that crowd.
Castle people's a funny phrase.
Hey, castle people
Sort of
like all
history.
sorts. They're not just history buffs. They there's a lot of people that work on the falconry display, and there's people that work on the trebuchet reenactment.
Sorry, Jacob, did you say milk and sugar?
Yes, please. A little bit of each. Oh,
I thought I was offside. And I also took a stupid shot because I thought he'd come in and you looked at him like that at the same time. And I felt bad that I played him behind. So I've just wasted a very promising chance there. But what are we going to do? Reggiana will go again. Oh, Mehdi. My players are quite slow. Any more questions, Joe?
We have questions of what we thought of the Argentina game, which, if you want to give a little praise, now you can, JJ, although we're going to talk about it later on the show as well.
Yeah, well, it was like fantastic fun.
Yeah.
Really loved watching it. I love Lionel Messi so much that I will do odd things to watch him play.
You will do odd things?
Yeah, I'll watch a game I'd never normally watch just to make
Right.
sure I can see him.
Yeah.
Like, I'll stay up till 4 in the morning and stuff like that, you know.
Oh, here's a good one.
Yeah.
From Papa Mirth. What football player or manager or pundit would make a good horror show villain? And if so, what kind? You know, perhaps a vampire, a serial killer, that sort of thing.
Which manager would make that?
Which manager do you think would make the best horror film villain?
I think Arsene Wenger, having just recently watched that Hugh Grant film where he's like the spooky guy living in a house on his own, you know?
He has got a sort of old vampire feel about him. You know, like the sort of gentleman vampire that only feasts once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Tony Blair have both aged that way. There's a sort of evilness to the way they've aged.
They've aged evilly.
Yeah.
I know
So
what you mean.
there's something a bit Lord of the Rings about each of them.
Some older people look kinder and gentler as they age.
Yeah, some get sinister.
Some become more sinister. Christopher Lee,
Yes.
much more sinister, right? This is true.
Oh, you like that fake passing?
It's the only thing I can remember how to do.
I never use it. It's getting me every time. It's really good.
I don't know. Also, we're around the same age. Lofted through ball, useless now.
Yeah.
You can't use it.
Yeah,
It's done.
I've tried
It's
that a
done.
moment ago. It didn't.
How about now?
What shirt is JJ wearing? Is that an Ecuador shirt?
Curacao away.
Oh, it's a Curacao shirt.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, there's some shouts for Gattuso as the villain. Unai Emery would make a good villain, absolutely,
Yeah,
of course.
very true.
That's almost 2 on the nose, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually like Emery when he's happy. I like the sort of Villa Europa League celebration Emery when he was a bit drunk on the bus. I thought was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have some Motherwell fans in the stadium.
Simeone would make a good Bond villain. That's possibly true also.
I think he can make a really good John McClane style hero.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, anti-hero.
He's the working man. He's like, I didn't want to get into this. I didn't want there to be space aliens in my drive. And then he has to go and battle them.
Claudio Ranieri says, KC, Claudio Ranieri, a good example of older looking kinder, whereas Ancelotti, scarier. I think that's true. But also, like, Ancelotti lost weight recently, and when people lose weight, they look scarier. Right?
Yeah,
they look more evil.
More sinister.
Yeah,
That's not true.
It is true. It's hard to find overweight, evil-looking people. All evil-looking people.
No, I don't think so.
Marinakis.
Okay.
I think it goes straight to Ratatouille, right? And the obviously he becomes like the sort of hero part in the end of the movie.
I just think if I lost weight, I might look more evil. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think that's true.
It's a big fear of mine. It's like, well, sometimes when you see celebrities
You've got
who
a
are like
handsome face, Joe,
who
you
are a
look
bit
just fine.
overweight, but then when they lose weight, they look worse. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, I'm gonna have my glow up pretty soon anyway, so we'll find out.
That's good.
I don't think I can quite remember how to do dribbling properly. If you sort of
You hold the left trigger button and then you just wiggle the right.
But if you sort of whack with the right stick, does it do a big step?
It does.
Like
It does.
So, like,
It
you
does.
can do
It
different
does.
things with sticks, so
Kicks
like you
the ball
can,
ahead of you.
Yeah.
So you can do like it's a bit like Street Fighter controls, like do the step overs. Oh, I was trying to show you some tricks there.
So
that's fine. You do it. Yeah, but that's the thing, and like it's quite fun doing the tricks.
And then can you do a big sort of step?
You can do like this one, or that's just
Where you sort of just like if you're trying to like blast past someone.
Oh yeah, you can hold it the way you're going. Again, that's a bit like Pro Evo. Yeah.
This is a
So I
really
can
good question
do
from
that.
Mateus in the chat. If all footballers today did stuff like smoked and drank and like had the same diets and behaviour that they used to in the past, which player would be the best player? I guess that's like if you remove peak athleticism.
Yeah.
Then Ronaldo gets much worse, but Messi.
Yeah,
still
he'd
good,
lose
right?
everything.
Messi is still exactly the same. Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Although, I guess you could maybe say though that Wayne Rooney was like benefited from like becoming professional at a time when like athleticism was like first exploding when like it was becoming much more efficient?
I don't know if I think that.
No,
no, he just came through. He's amazing.
He's got the body type of somebody that like needs to stay on top of it in order to play, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But like he's still like, I mean, I've seen clips of him doing stuff now in coaching, and he's doing some training stuff, and he's still so
he's
fast.
still got it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he just has it.
Oscar asks, which sport other than football is the best sport? He actually says football, but football.
Football.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you watch any others? Jeff?
Snooker.
Boxing for me.
Boxing.
I spend much more time thinking about football than boxing, but I think I enjoy a good boxing match.
More than a good football match?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. There've been boxing matches where I literally can't believe what's happening.
In boxing, do you have like a guy that you support like Arsenal?
Great question.
Do you know what I have done over the years? Actually, it doesn't tend to be the ones that are particularly good though, and you can obviously be very transient with it. So you can
same as Arsenal.
Yeah. Well, but then you can sort of support someone for a bit and then change your mind on them. I think I was a bit like that with Tyson Fury actually.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan.
But then also what happens in boxing, which doesn't happen in football, which is really frustrating, is you can really like someone and then they're a drug cheat.
Right.
Which has happened to me a few times.
Right,
like,
in boxing.
There'll be boxers I really like, and then I'm not just you don't need to worry about like they'll get convicted of it.
Right, sure.
And it's like, oh god, I really like that guy. And obviously in boxing, if you do that, it's not just cheating; it's like endangering someone's health.
I love it. I also love that you knew I was worrying.
It is funny.
Incredible insight there.
I feel like going to rugby for Six Nations with my dad now. That's good fun. But it's interesting that a lot of sports are just like individual people. So like you're supporting individual sports people rather than like maybe it's the country you're Wimbledon or something like that.
Yeah.
Like my sister loves F1 and she kind of supports teams and stuff like that. I think she gets into certain ones at certain times, but then you change. You don't stick with one forever, I don't think.
But the problem with the sports where it's
good game.
Is that 0-0?
Yeah.
Decent game,
Well
mate.
done.
How about that? Congratulations, well done all round. Can you chuck me the controller?
Of course.
Thanks.
The problem with sports where it's you support an individual person, and I think this is about to happen in boxing. I think it has happened a bit in tennis. Is you just get eras where there aren't many good people.
Yeah.
Like in tennis at the moment, it's sort of.
Isn't that really good Spanish lad Alcaraz? Is he not really good?
I think, but then you want him to have the rivalry with the Italian guy, but then the Italian guy's injured.
That's
I think?
Yannick Sinner. Is Yannick Sinner the?
I don't know.
Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz are they're the good ones, I think.
Right, and I think Sinner's injured at the moment.
Right,
Maybe he's not
okay.
Italian. Maybe I've got that a bit wrong.
I don't know. I know he is Italian, but he doesn't look Italian. He's like maybe he's from North Italy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But I know what you mean. Like you can go through like whole eras where there just isn't an outstanding player, and then all of a sudden two come along at the same time.
Heavyweight boxing about 15 years ago, the sort of David Haye, Klitschko's era was awful.
Right.
Rubbish.
Haven't lots of those people gone into the UFC and MMA and those sorts of sports as well?
There's a lot more crossover stuff now, and then there's the thing that where if boxers get to a certain level and aren't making enough money, they start doing the mad misfit stuff, which is horrible.
Right, okay. Mad Misfit.
Mad Misfits shows.
That's the name of the thing.
Well, they don't call it that, but I don't think they mind it being described that way either.
How about that? I was going to wait for Ryan to get back, but do you know what? I'm just desperate for the loo, so can I leave the two of you here?
That will be all right.
Yeah, you're fine? Great, thanks.
We can discuss the games. Who's been your favourite team at the World Cup so far?
Do you know what? I've really enjoyed Norway.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's really, I find them like quite a simple team in that you've got a really nice attacking midfielder and a really nice striker, and if they can connect, like good things will happen. Do you know what I mean? It's really simple in that way.
We had a discussion about Martin Odegaard the other day, and I find it hard to work out what I think of him because obviously he's amazing. And my take on him now is that I think I want him to be a different kind of player than what he is, and that's why I find him frustrating. Like I want him to be doing cool like Michael Olise stuff, but that's not what he does. He helps control the game.
I think over the last 2 years he's become a bit more Modric than that. And I also think his passing for a player who feels like a playmaker, he's not actually that good at final balls.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like nothing happens, but then I see folks who know the game really well talking about how he's helped control it in a completely different way to what I would think of. And like, if it's between him and Elise, I'd want Elise, but maybe Odegaard would win more games. That sounds stupid.
I think he's incredibly good off the ball, and I think there'll always be statistics after a game of like passes into the final third or ball progression where he's incredibly high.
Yeah.
But I think Arsenal use him in a really weird way where they ask him moves by dropping and collecting off the centre backs, but then they also ask him to be at the front of a press.
He's so effective, but he will get changed. He'll run out of energy given the way he's playing and going about his work in this game.
Now in the glorious sunshine of Philadelphia, early evening sunshine, the game resumes. About only a slither of the field of play now in the sun itself as Saliba nudges the ball upfield for France, who are all in dark blue, playing from left to right. Paraguay in the red and white striped shirts, white shorts and white socks, playing from right to left. They have Gil in goal with Cáceres, Velázquez on the ball right now. Upamecano, Saliba and Digne, Kone and Rabiot, Dembele, Elise and Barcola on a yellow card behind Mbappe up front. Paraguay attacking the end that houses the bulk of their supporters, a lot of them in the replica shirts behind the goal to the left-hand side, two-tiered end which is split by a huge rectangular electronic screen, and the free kick will be taken on halfway by Diego Gomez, pumps it high crossfield, header away by Jules Koundé, and now maybe a chance for France to counter-attack. A lot of spectators returning late for the second half, and you can understand those who've been sitting in the sun on the far side doing that in particular. Free kick to France as Gustavo Gomez gets a final warning, a wag of the finger, I think, from the referee. You're listening to Talk Sport. 2 minutes have been played in the second half, and it is Paraguay 0, France 0. Luca Digne out on the France left. Early ball forward to Barcola. Mbappe in the middle. Barcola teases it backwards to the feet of Saliba, and now Kone. Once again the France centre-backs playing high up the pitch even as Paraguay defend the edge of the 18-yard area. Camped deep, all 11 behind the ball. Saliba to the left-hand side and Rabiot. It's worked for Paraguay so far, you have to say. Whether you like the approach or not, Paraguay's tactics have been spot on against this sparkling French side up to this point. Kone to the right-hand side. Early ball back from Dembele to Kone. Lovely footwork by Mbappe. On the turn is Koundé. Couldn't lay it off to Elise. It'll be cleared upfield by Alonso. Mark McGee.
Yeah, a good start by France. A little bit cagey still, you know, but just once or twice when the ball has been switched from right over to the left-hand side, there's a few more yards between them. So, you know, they've came out, Paraguay in the second half, and maybe looking to, you know, feeling the effects of the first half.
Elise not quick enough on the ball to get beyond Galaza a second time, but France do win it back half the pitch. Little touch by Dembele back to Koundé. And Koundé now picks out Rabiot midway inside opposition territory. Wide to the near side, and Elise again, calling for support closer to it. Kone takes up possession. Square ball. Rabiot, shot is on! And he drills it high over the top of the bar. And the referee does say goal kick, despite appeals from some in the blue of France that it took a deflection.
That's a couple of shots he's had, and they both resulted in the same thing. You know, it's wasteful. If he's not going to hit the target, it's wasteful.
Didier Deschamps was very upset with it, right away out to the edge of his technical area to lament the shot, a rising drive that sailed clean over Orlando Gil's crossbar, and the giant goalkeepers had nothing to do in the game as yet. The hero of the shootout against Germany. All poor play by Upamecano. The ball is gathered up by Almiron into the area, and the ball takes a deflection behind off Upamecano. Paraguay get themselves a corner, and this is where they can really threaten with the score 0-0.
And again, the ball up to Enciso. He puts the two centre-halves under enough pressure that Almiron's able to join in and get at them. You know, again, he started off the way he finished the first half. Brilliant play, putting them under pressure, even in isolation.
And there are plenty forward for Paraguay here, including two of the centre-halves, Alderete and Gustavo Gomez. Diego Gomez is there as well.
One of the big goals in qualifying
I
against
think that's what France needs to do.
Colombia.
Counter now. Quick one.
And clears along the way.
Quick break. Mbappe. Mbappe. Oh, on ball.
Well, the corner kick is given. The Paraguayans are absolutely certain that he handled it.
So on ball.
Just think of the recovery run. He took it quick, Steve. They're taking it very quickly.
Oh.
Dembele rifles it into the side netting. Well, they can't switch off Paraguay, and they've just switched on twice in a matter of a minute. One of them they got away with the ball over the top. And Mbappe thought he was through. And they switch off at the corner. But this is where they feel it was a handball from Mbappe. It is. Yeah. He's right, Casares, because he was the player retreating. But that's a brilliant recovery run. Because you think as soon as Mbappe's got 3 or 4 yards, he's away, he's going to score. But then they switch off here.
It's definitely
ball
a
into
handball.
Dembele. Goalkeeper does really well. He's out quickly. He's brave. That was smart thinking from the French. Landed right on top of Orlando Heel.
Stepped on the keeper, but accidental.
Players can no longer use the opportunity of a goalkeeper being injured to go and get coaching advice. And Hill here, who only actually played 1 game in qualifying, and that was the final match against Peru when they'd already reached the finals. It was quite a hefty fall. It's a lovely kick out because he's under pressure. There's a Paraguayan player behind him, but that ball,
What a ball.
sidewinder of a kick, keeps it low. I think Mbappe's away and it's saying that bounce up just in front of him. The ball is just delightful. The goalkeeper.
He was
Huge
gone.
risk to take, wouldn't it, for
He was gone.
Jose Caceres? But actually, they'd been better off letting Mbappe put the ball in the net. VAR ruled it out for offside, for handball, and then there'd be no corner because even though he was asking the referee to look at the VAR, you can't question the fact that he got the last touch on the ball, so VAR can't get involved. Yeah, but you've just got to deal with the situation, Steve. Be a risk though, wouldn't it? Oh, it's a huge risk, and that's the problem. Imagine saying that to your manager. Here's Rabiot.
It's time to move the ball really quick now, France.
Saliba.
The ball needs to be moving like a pace that they can't catch up. Don't let them get close to you. Release the ball. See that they're going back to back 6.
Coda has been quiet.
Oh! Corner. That's it. That's what they need to start doing.
Their best effort of the game so far for France. Manu Kone tipped over by Heel. Talked before about backing off and giving the midfielders too much time and space. There's the space. He cuts across the ball. It's a lovely save from Heel.
That was going in. That was so.
Right arm, pushing it over the bar. France corner. Olise. Near post disappointing.
Poor
First
corner.
defender and all that. And that ball has gone out of play. Just wonder at what point is the referee going to book one of the Paraguayan players? They went to take a short corner there, France. Ciso just stepping into the area. You can see Dembele and Elise absolutely furious. Again, it's stopping that rhythm.
Alderete with a forward ball into Meccano's header. Galazza for Paraguay. Almiron. What a battler he is. Galazza likewise. Here's Elise. Had to hurdle Diego Gomez's leg. He collects the pass from Saliba. Works it away towards his left-hand side. Barcola. It's a corner kick.
The ref is not looking at these guys. We're not going to see a yellow card for these guys.
Really had too much.
We're not going to see a yellow card for these guys.
Dembele to deliver. Score of a hat-trick against Norway. It swung in and it's well taken by Orlando.
Too easy.
Really no pressure from Meccano, who is nearest.
Great take. The problem was he didn't have anyone to hit the ball too early. You know, the keepers have got to release the ball very quickly in this World Cup.
Koundé. Alonso. Manchester Galazza. So was caught slightly on his heels. Here's Ousmane Dembele. Didn't control it. Alderete with a header. Olise. Diego Gomez. Little flick from Almiron. Let's come back to Miguel Almiron, who tries to find Enciso. Koundé is off after him. Ball had gone out of play. Referee is trotting back here. Alderete is down. Paraguay are going
Time
to make
wasted, man. Time wasted.
Shortly.
Time wasted.
It's Jose Canale, who was at the centre of their defence against Germany, who is going to be coming on. Very late starter to international football. It's a Kone drive.
Yeah, it's a lovely strike across the ball. Always moving away, and then that lovely fingertip save from the goalkeeper. As I say, he's in full stretch. He's the best part to 6'3". The goalkeeper, he had to use his full frame to get there.
I need to bring Shaki in this game.
So
because Barcola's been really quiet. Take Barcola off.
Walks rather gingerly towards the near touchline. He's replaced by the 29-year-old Jose Canale, who started against Germany in the round of 32. That was his first ever start for his country.
He's going to have to be up to speed straight away, Steve, because the speed of this game, the speed at which France are trying to move.
Lucadine. Kylian Mbappe. Brilliant shoot away by Diego Gomez. Mbappe chasing him back has done really well. Here's Saliba. Now Mbappe looking to take this game by the scruff of the neck. Finding Bradley Barcola. Barcola shows it to Alonso, takes it away. Barcola into the penalty area and smothered.
Oh, brilliant from Caceres. Absolutely outstanding defending. Because he was beaten, but he never gave up. Just as he did with Mbappe when he ran back as well.
Here's Enciso. Saliba has not enjoyed himself today.
No, he's not at all. There's some brilliant battles all over the pitch, Steve.
The top players just called to substitute after that battle there with Saliba. I think he wants to go off. He's injured himself. He's done himself in.
Barcola.
What the hell with this? Take Barcola off, man. Take him off. He's coming off.
As he takes that shot with his right foot.
He's coming off.
Space opened up for him.
Yeah, he's going off. He's going off.
He hasn't half. He's put a shift in, and Ciso
so good in them forward areas, putting France under pressure. I'm sure Saliba will be quite glad to see him leave the pitch. Yeah, he will. He's been terrific. Gustavo Caballero is going to be coming on. He was on loan at Portsmouth from Santos last season, played 12 times for Pompey, scoring in a 3-1 win at Millwall in February. Caballero is on. His job is to replicate what Enciso.
Crowd to that.
I think that might be the cue for Barcola to go off. He's not having a good day. He's not had a chance because of that doubling up. You know, it's not everything to do with the player and his performance. It's got to do with that and clearly the weather, the temperature. But look at, you look at the way the players are walking around at the moment. It's a kind of laboured kind of walk. And now I think Enciso is going off.
He cannot continue, or at least they have decided to take him off. He did go down, Enciso, and it looks as though he might have been injured, but off he jogs, and on comes Gustavo Caballero, who spent the end of last season on loan at Portsmouth, of all clubs, and now here he is up against William Saliba and Dayot Upamecano at a World Cup. The France change is a predictable one. Barcola coming off and Doué coming on. Mark McGee, a chance for the youngster to shine.
Yeah, absolutely, but it is a straight swap. I'm not sure how much it changes unless, he goes on with some instruction that somebody's to go and play somewhere else, but it doesn't really change much, and I think they'll still heal the same problems as Barcola had. Finding space, finding opportunity to get 1v1.
The longer this game goes on, you sense with the score 0-0, the more dangerous a game it becomes for France.
Particularly because if they were to score, if Paraguay were to score, then France have got the problem, that they've got now, that they've been highlighted a shot anywhere. So if they go a goal behind, wow, I'm not sure they can get back.
All defensive outlook from Paraguay, and it has worked for them so far. 0-0 against the French, who have the ball with Upamecano, number 4 on the halfway line. We've played over an hour, live on Talk Sport. Brazil-Norway tomorrow, England-Mexico at the Azteca, 1 a.m. on Monday. Desiree Doué cuts in field. Elise lays it wide left to Digne. 1-2 between the two of them. Digne's in behind here, being pulled back. He looked to cut it square for Doué. Good work by Diego Gomez, and a very clever back heel to find Cáceres, whose clearance cannons off Digne and goes out of play for a Paraguay throw. They've been extremely calm when it comes to the defensive side of the game.
They've defended brilliantly, but not just in that 5-4-1 shape. They've actually defended man for man very, very well. When they've been faced with a challenge on an individual, they've won most of those as well, particularly in that defensive third.
They're trying to get a Mexican wave started to our left-hand side. That's what the crowd think of what's going on. It's an interesting game from a tactical perspective, but not entertaining in terms of chances in the final third, that's for sure. Forward by Junior Alonso. He's just clattered it upfield with certainly more hope than expectation that it would find Caballero, who is nowhere near it. Kone square ball to Saliba from the centre circle, forward to Digne. Wide left is Desiree Doué, Mbappe in the middle, Rabiot to the back post. Doué goes onto the right foot. He's caught, is he? No. Referee says play on, no foul by Cubas. Here is Koundé, wide right to Elise. Right corner of the penalty area now. Elise spins onto the left foot, looks for the feet of Dembele, who's crowded out. Alonso in the way, little dink upfield, it's dropped to Upamecano. Doué back to his feet, forward now to Mbappe, 30 yards out, and Mbappe blazes over the top, and it's something that is inflicting all of these French players the pressure of the occasion, the heat here in Philadelphia, the stout defensive work of the opposition. Even Mbappe blazes over the top, and there are whistles again from some of the supporters here at the Philadelphia Stadium. 0-0. What an intriguing World Cup tie this is.
No, the shape that they're playing is one thing, and it's making it difficult for the likes of Dembele. But Dembele's touch has not been good. It's not just about the way they're playing. It's about himself, about not getting the ball under control, about not getting the ball under control tight enough, giving them an opportunity to step on and maybe clear it. He needs to do. It all has to tighten up, as well as people beating people, as I've said, or shots from distance. Whatever they do, they've got to find a way. But individually, I think France have got to be better.
Can France break through the red and white wall? 20 minutes into the second half. Out on the left is Desiree Doué in front of the France end. Doué, couple of step overs, back out to Digne. Nearly all of the pitch is in the shade now. Kone, number 6, middle of the Paraguay half, out wide right, little touch from Dembele, looking for the underlapping run of Koundé. He's rolled a good ball in field, but it's intercepted by Diego Gomez in front of Mbappe. Attack for defence, 0-0 the score. Doué for France, gliding into the penalty area. Terrific feed from Doué, and he goes down. No penalty given by the referee. He got beyond 3, and now they counter Paraguay. Almiron busting a gut to get forward over on the far side, the right. Saliba gets across in front of him. Oh, and he's gone down here. He's pulled a muscle, I think, has Almiron. And they're effectively down to 10 at the moment. He has stopped the game, the referee. And is this for consultation with the VAR? Doué is down at the other end of the field.
I didn't think his momentum, I think, took him down as much as any. It was a brilliant run, but I think his momentum takes.
Ooh, does it though?
Does it though?
And VAR is checking for a potential foul by Diego Gomez.
I think that's a penalty.
Diego Gomez on Doué. France have had to work so hard for a breakthrough. Are they about to get a fantastic opportunity here?
Well, I spoke about Cherki coming on, and the possibility that he would run at people, that somebody would stick out a leg and he would go down. Well, Doué's done exactly that.
Doué may well have come on and made an instant impact. He's going to check the pitch side monitor, the referee. The France supporters cheer. Is this their moment, Mark McGee, in a game of so few chances?
Well, sometimes it's that little bit of pressure manifests itself in a way. So although, it's going to be a penalty, probably, then since Doué came on, he's been effective. He's run at people, he's got at people, he's picked up pace quickly. We know his speed. He's done really, really well since he came on, and that little run there tempted, invited a challenge that was looked to me for all the world as if it was a foul and is therefore a penalty.
Looks a fairly obvious
Absolutely not a
foul.
dive.
The Paraguay players are standing right behind the referee near the pitch side monitor. What's going to be the decision of Ilgiz Tantashev?
The ref is protecting the penalty spot as well.
It is a penalty kick for France, and is all of Paraguay's hard defensive work about to be undone.
Well, if he scores,
Get your players, man. Get your players.
Because the last questions of Paraguay, are Paraguay going to come out a little bit? Are they going to reshape? Are they going to have a little bit of a go? And then we might see a much more open game than we've been watching for, whatever it is, 70 minutes or so.
Well, they have to get past the giant figure of goalkeeper Orlando Gil first of all, and at the moment it's not Mbappe, it's Dembele who holds the ball, and one of the defenders is kicking at the edge of the penalty spot. That is very unsporting. I think it might have been Velázquez who was just kicking at the edge of the spot. Dembele holds the ball. He's kept very calm amid all of this. Ousmane Dembele, and a long way to take this penalty as Paraguay continue their faux protests.
Yeah, I think that, this is something they do these days, isn't it? Dembele will hold it. Once it's cleared, he'll give the ball to Mbappe, and Mbappe will step up. Yeah.
Here he comes. The last penalties he took were in the World Cup, or in the final against Argentina. 2 in the game and 1 in the shootout. He scored his last 5 for club and country. Mixed up where he's gone, near enough each and every time. Goalkeeper Gil saved 2 penalties in the shootout against Germany, but now he comes up against arguably the world's best. France's inimitable number 10, their captain. Still the Paraguay protests continue, and now Almiron is saying that the ball isn't on the penalty spot. They're doing everything they can to try to delay the taking of the kick and take Mbappe's mind off what he hopes he's about to do.
Yeah, except this is the best player in the world. You know, he's not going to be fazed by them, you know, a bit of like sports psychology.
He starts his run-up from the edge of the penalty area. Mbappe stutters right-footed and scores! Gill goes the wrong way!
General.
The red and white wall is finally breached!
The general.
It had to be Kylian Mbappe! A big sigh of relief
The
for
general.
Didier Deschamps. Mbappe moves to 7 goals for this World Cup, and you have to say the team that have tried to play are the team who look like they're heading for the World Cup quarterfinals. France 1, Paraguay 0.
Well, you know, France have found a way. You know, they've brought on Dewey and he's run at people and he's tempted that challenge. It was made. Diego has played well. He's, you know, he's unfortunate, but he does stick out a leg.
Quick feet.
And Diego Gomez, and I feel sorry for him, especially being a
These
Brighton
guys,
player.
they never came.
You know, it was what Dewey was brought on to do.
I'm so glad the game knocks out. Hopefully it stays like this for this. Now, in fact, they're gonna have to come up now and play football. We're gonna see what they made of. Not that they're not good enough. They are a good team, but the fact that the coach decided to go for 5 defenders at the back, right? 2 all the midfielders. Like literally.
They will have to take risks. It's clattered forward by Velasquez from Meccano to Mike Magna and the pressure.
They just need to be careful they don't get caught out, you know, on counters. I mean the French team. But now this Paraguay team needs to come out and get a goal and give us something. Take some. No card again.
Hold back, do they, the Paraguay players? I mean, if he doesn't get a booking here.
It's no booking.
Cubas made the challenge on Rabiot. There was then another one behind the referee's back.
No booking.
How has he not got a yellow card?
No
Absolutely
booking.
incredible. I honestly don't know.
These guys corrupt. This
Well, it is the
call it what you want, but this.
hydration break as Rabiot picks himself up. I mean, France are justifiably upset because there have been at least 3 or 4 occasions on which a Paraguayan could have been shown a yellow card, and they've been absolutely
What are they doing?
nothing from the referee in their direction. Didier Deschamps is out here to try and calm his players down because they will need to keep their composure over what remains of this game. Velasquez is into it for Meccano.
Mbappe nice winding them up. They've been winding him up all day.
But there's been tough and unfair.
They've been winding him up all night. Now Mbappe, sorry, come on then, I've scored. Show me what you got.
that they are
We're
behind.
back again.
Upamecano's pass into Elise around the corner for Manu Kone. Saliba for Lucadine.
Well, one of the things the message has to be to Mbappe himself. As this team tire, as Paraguay tire, and they get a little bit frustrated, there might be some silly things going on.
You're going to have to force them to come up now and play this game. There we go.
Kone was off the mark, really.
Come on, here we go. Now they straight up one.
Mbappe's past him, get it back into. I think that's a sign from Kylian Mbappe.
That's it, Mbappe, nice time wasting.
Juan Jose Caceres, he bumped into the Paraguay right-sided defender, and there might have been a little bit more coming back his way as well. Yeah, just wonder what it was. Just a good kick out here.
There.
Tiny kick out. Mbappe's going to try and make the most of it because he knows there's VAR about. How can that not be seen? I don't understand how you cannot see that.
Yeah, it's again, the referee and his big poor.
I mean, David Beckham got sent off for that in 1998.
Poor referee. Poor referee.
Velasquez ball into the penalty area. That had gone behind.
That's gone out. Wow. This ref is rubbish, bro.
Just have a decision to make now. Do they settle, pass the ball around the back, take the sting out the game completely, and then if anything does fight themselves to open them up, then they can do it. This is just a penalty incident where we've got Velasquez just trying to rip the spot up and make it uneven. So the ball sits awkwardly. Dembele trying to protect it, but Mbappe didn't care. Strokes it home beautifully. So calm.
Oh, his dad is watching as well. His dad is there.
He's the man. I know my eyesight's not that bad. It's a goal kick to France. There was a slight delay there in recognition that it had gone beyond the dead ball line. 68,000 here in Philadelphia this early evening, and an amazing sight, this stadium, which is usually used at the moment has moved from a kind of right wing back position into more of a midfield spot.
Now France are letting them keep the ball. I'll let Paraguay keep the ball.
Andres Cubas.
And now they've got about... They've got a few players up top.
See that as well, the referee. Sensing his assistant referee down at front to help him out. So clear to see, though.
It is a throw-in.
Where's the yellow card for this team?
33-year-old will take it.
Take the goalkeeper on their equation. They can take far too many times on set pieces and long throws.
Straight forward, substitute Avelos is in there. Caballero too as in comes Alonso's throw in. It's flicked on. Desiree Doué was fouled.
Look at the initial one on Upamecano. I want to make sure it was a foul, Steve.
They get the own taste of the old medicine one.
Put it here.
Yeah, elbow.
There's nothing in that at all. Why has Upamecano gone down like that when he's grabbed his arm? He surely has to see that.
Problem is with new footballers, Steve, give an inch, you take a mile.
You do if the referee lets you. That's why you've got to get hold of the game.
Mike Magnan with the clearance away downfield for France, heading at the moment to a quarter-final in Boston against Morocco. There's a foul by Caballero. There might have been an earlier foul actually by the other substitute, Avelos, on
I think that's why the referee has given the free kick. It's been so cagey this game, Mark.
Absolutely. Forward, Dembele's control. Alonso is it quickly. Cáceres with a header. Cavallero underneath it.
Took him out. He's giving them a card. Oh my God.
You can't say that's not a yellow card. No, he's been waiting for that, Kone. You could tell straight away as soon as Cáceres got beyond him, he wanted to take him out because he knew he was never getting the ball. Here's a yellow card, but it took him so long to brandish another one.
That's what he has to do. He has to just ignore that because that's going to happen.
I wonder whether we'll see any more France changes shortly. Deschamps is talking to the fourth official, who's been very busy in this second half in particular.
And it's a free kick to Paraguay, which Mauricio will take.
Paraguay worked for long periods before France eventually took the lead through that Mbappe penalty. 9 minutes plus added time to go.
And it's headed into the area.
Ball is on the halfway line.
It's there ahead of
Yo, this game is comedy, man. Comedy goal.
The path of one of his teammates, just a little bit too much height on the ball.
That's either lazy or it's tired. You know, it's one or the other. You know, it's a silly challenge, but in this temperature...
Due has largely played second fiddle to Bradley Barcola over the course of this tournament, but he showed his worth with that little bit of skill which drew the foul from Diego Gomez. That's the difference at the moment. Coming in, extending his grip, Mauricio goes to ground. Lupa Meccano sends it away to Luca Dean.
Now they're forcing them to come out. Before they said, okay, you guys come and score. Now they say, okay, now you come and get the ball off us. That's what's happening now. Look at them. They're hunting for the ball now.
Yeah, because of the depth they now have between the lines and they can make a few passes, I think at times it can be a wee bit of an optical illusion that we think they're doing better because they're making more passes. You know,
France is just happy to see there with the ball. That's it.
Rabiot for France.
They spent all night in the other half. Now they're spending it in their own half.
Draw in Paraguay. Play round them. We're going to see Turkey shortly.
Yo.
I saw a little gap.
Oh, let's see.
Closed it. Gustavo Gomez with the long ball downfield. Avalos.
Come on, advantage. No card. No card.
Cavallero, it's a free kick. Here comes Turkey for Dembele. Whether Elise will drift onto the right-hand side now and Cherky will go into that central position, or whether he will be the player off the right, because he just looked across the Deschamps there. Elise said, is it me? Am I going to the right? He stayed in the centre.
World Cup so far. Surely Deschamps must be tempted for the last 7 minutes. Little touch by Elise deflecting the ball wide.
We'll be glad to get the opportunity to provide a little cameo. We all know what he's capable of. He's come on in every game so far.
Up towards Avalos. One in the air though by
Saliba. Lupa Meccano. Rabiot.
Oh.
Great awareness of a sliding Cáceres.
You see what I mean? That this Rabiot guy, this is what I mean.
Accelerating away from Cáceres. Didn't find Elise, but it has found
Shaki,
here.
you're gonna produce some magic. The winger.
Elise.
Iman Elise now on the ball.
There you go, welcome to the game. That's exactly what you're going to get.
The ref is absolutely
just lifted off the ball there.
France are probably going to have longer complaint after this game against this ref.
Mbappe.
To reach the quarterfinals, but heading for victory and a very intriguing tie with Morocco in Boston on the 9th of July nonetheless. Rabiot on the halfway line, good turn away from Cubas. He beats the sliding tackle of Cáceres as well. 6 minutes to go.
They can't get close to the ball. No, and nowhere near the ball.
Right edge of the penalty area. Looks now for Elise. Back to Cherky again. Elise's on the ball once more.
Ball stays in play. Then to Paraguay and throw in.
France keep possession. Cherki balloons the ball high out towards the left halfway line. And Saliba, Cherki was caught late. Referee says play on. Very lenient approach from the referee throughout the game.
Close, Didier Deschamps. Very close now. There's not been a comfortable afternoon for them. It was never going to be in this heat and against this side.
Paraguay sitting deep again, just waiting for one opportunity maybe to try and strike and send this game to extra time. 1-0 France.
Slick on, kept away from Cherki and driven across goal by Junior Alonso for Paraguay.
Strokes the ball from right to left, and Digne takes up possession.
Just so inviting, wasn't it? The way it bounced up in front of him. You could see exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to hit it with the outside of his left foot, almost towards the far post, and hope it curls back in. Snatched at it though.
First international goal, a rare one.
I think at this point it'd be worth
helped Paraguay come from 2 down against Colombia.
Killing Mbappe. I think killing Mbappe, that little flick there was a kind of,
Saliba. Kone did reach it and was caught.
As well as that protect him.
Has he been wound up by some of the Paraguay?
So that is probably about 6 fouls now that has impeded in the course of the game. And he's not even looking at the ball, he just runs into Kone, to his back.
And they've executed their plan outstandingly well. You have to credit them for the way the
high up, and Alonso skewed it well wide, and Mike Maignan ultimately has not had a shot to save the France goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a skewed shot, but it's one of those shots you just don't know where it's going, so it can easily, comes back a further yard. The player's flying in to try and get in the end of it, might have got a touch on it.
3.5 minutes remain, plus what is usually quite considerable added time, so they might have the best part of 8-9 minutes here. Paraguay to try and find an equaliser, but now Kone's been fouled and France themselves can take the sting out of the game. Galaza with the challenge. Paraguay have maximised their resources, I think, here, and it may not be enough. In some senses, you have to give them credit for doing that. It's not made for an entertaining game, but it has made for a tense evening here in Philadelphia. Thumping header by Kone downfield, cleared away on the volley by Cubas, and then Digne made a mistake, but it hit Maurizio and bounces out of play.
They've got to see it out now, but they've got to see it out in possession, and keep passing the ball forward, keep getting it into Mbappe if he's still out there, or getting it out here to Cherki and let him, spend a little bit of time, waste his seconds by being on the ball. Ooh.
Loose ball out to the France right, and it's a Paraguay throw gifted to them. Near side their left, and they go back to the halfway line. Jose Canale, wouldn't he love to extend this round of 16 tie? A place in the quarters at stake, and Paraguay close to heading out here of the World Cup. 2 minutes of normal time remain. They've had 30% possession, Paraguay, over the course of the game. France win the ball back now, and here is Mbappe on the turn with the defender backing off. Mbappe running at Velasquez, right-footed curler, turned away by Gil. Really got a sight of goal there, Mbappe. Decent stop by Gil, although the shot wasn't quite in the corner. And it's the save you'd expect the goalkeeper to make. Upamecano with a square ball. Now to Kone, last 90 seconds of normal time. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official, a long way down below us for you. Let's see how much added time is on. Kone to Digne. France just keeping the ball, and they slow the game down again, Mark McGee.
And that's what they've got to do. They've got to invite Paraguay onto them a little bit, and then when they do come on, then maybe they can get it slipped into those spaces behind the midfield, into the space between the back four and the midfield, and that's where they can create something.
19 World Cup goals in 19 appearances for Kylian Mbappe. His penalty looks like it's going to be enough for France here, and there are France fans jumping up and down excitedly in the stand away to our left, but the game is not over yet. 45 seconds to go of normal time. Not a good clearance by Maignan. Velasquez just thumps it straight upfield, back from whence it came. Poor clearance by Upamecano. Maurizio on the turn! one! And Magnon makes a relatively straightforward sprawling save to his right, but that was nearly a very costly mistake from Upamecano.
Yeah, we know he's got a mistake in him. He worries me for France going ahead to playing the better teams. You know, Upamecano can give them a problem.
I think they're a little bit nervy here, France. Going into the closing stages. Added time is on the way. Saliba smuggles the ball out to the left, only as far as Maurizio. Maurizio delivers, nudged away by Lucatinha. 10 added minutes at the end of the game. Would you believe it?
I thought that had to be a free kick down there.
On Saliba or for Saliba?
On Saliba.
Here now goes Maurizio, left wing position, good early ball in. Flying header away by Digne, and now France can counter. The game is stretched into 10 minutes of added time. Paraguay 0, France 1. Doué out on the left-hand side. Mbappe is squared. Doué goes for goal. Shot is blocked, and it's hacked away by Alonso. Well, the game has taken really until stoppage time to actually open up. And France have got to be so careful here that Paraguay don't find an injury time equaliser to send this to extras. Elise, midway inside opposition territory, and he's hacked to the ground. A slide tackle, I think, from Galaza. It was Galaza, right in front of the referee, in a France free kick.
Now it's France's opportunity to take a few seconds to get it going again, save a bit of energy, see it out a little bit, and deny Paraguay the opportunity to get up the park.
France set to meet Morocco for the first time since the 2022 World Cup semi-final. They'll be reunited in the quarters here in the United States if it stays like this. Jules Koundé out on the right, angled ball to Cherki. Cherki now taking on the defender, gliding down the right-hand side, sliding in is Alonso. That's a good tackle. Robust, firm but fair. Smashed upfield by the attacking man Maurizio. Chasing on the near side is Caballero. Upamecano going with his back to goal initially, and he's nearly got himself into a tangle here, Upamecano. In the end, he's wrestled off it by Caballero. The throw goes France's way.
I don't know what he was doing there. I mean, why he just didn't lay it back there to the into the 18-yard box there for the goalkeeper just to come on and launch it. You know, instead of that, he's trying to play himself out. He's not good at that.
Well, it is a free kick to France in stoppage time. Paraguay 0, France 1. This is TalkSport. 2.5 minutes through the 10 added. Magnon has just blazed that upfield with no real intent to find a blue shirt. It's out of play for a Paraguay throw. Is there one chance left in the game for the South American side? Paraguay, their first World Cup since 2010, when they reached the quarters for the very first time. More than a decade in the World Cup wilderness. They are back, but their journey set to come to an end. Kone has found Cherki. Cherki glides up the near side right touchline. Mbappe waits in the middle. Cherki is going to get a corner out of that after the challenge by Alonso. 1-0 France, 7 added minutes remain.
That's what Cherki can do. You know, he can get on the ball, he can spend time on the ball. It allows people to get into the box, to get into position if he does get the cross in. Otherwise, you know, he's got the opportunity to create something, and he's done that now. He's got them a corner. But at this stage of the game, with, you know, 6 minutes or something to go, waste a little bit of time.
This has not been straightforward for France, but they are nearly there. 6 added minutes remain. They've had a long delay between the awarding and the taking of the corner. Elise is saying that the two Paraguayan players are not 10 yards away, and the assistant's having to get involved here. Doué has certainly come short. Taken by Elise to Doué. Back out to Elise, corner of the penalty area. Slight tackle from Galaza. He wins it back, and Galaza's raced upfield here. Can Canale pick him out? Down has gone Koundé off the ball. He's hurt. And now the referee stops it to check on Jules Koundé. And Paraguay furious again. This is a game that has heated up on more than one occasion. Lots of activity on the benches as well. Both sets of subs are out. Both head coaches unhappy, I think, with the referee. Koundé off the ball, and Galaza just bashes into him. For the second time in the game, Galaza's done that to a France player off the ball. He could arguably be off.
Galaza's got away with murder. He really has. All afternoon he's been niggling, he's been pushing, punching. He's got off lightly.
And at the end of all that, Paraguay have got them. There were about 3 balls on the pitch there momentarily. Chaotic scenes here in Philadelphia. At the end of all of that, Paraguay have got a throw in the attacking third.
The bench are showing everyone forward.
In by Alonso, only half away. Digne then thumps the ball further clear towards Mbappe. It's won back on halfway by Canale. And there are plenty forward in red and white now. Canale clips the ball long, flicked on by Velasquez, and headed back by Luca Digne to Magnon, who pounces on the ball just about quick enough halfway through added time to get it away from Maurizio. 1-0 France.
A little bit of juggling there. You can do with that at this stage, you know, heart-in-the-mouth stuff for Didier Deschamps, I'm sure.
The France manager sat in the dugout at the moment. His team are nearly there. Magnon has to hurriedly clear right-footed. High towards the left-hand side. Can Paraguay carve out a chance? They're on the defensive now. What a ball by Elise to Desiree Doué. Left edge of the penalty area, cuts it back. Mbappe left-footed. Great save. The rebound. Saved again by Gil. What a save. That double stop is up there with the best in the tournament, and it keeps Paraguay alive.
Well, you're counting that there both times. The first time I thought that he would score, the second time I thought he was certain to score, but 2 fantastic saves. Keeps it alive for the 5 minutes or so.
Oh, he's thrown himself to ground, that man Galaza again. Yellow card in the direction of Elise. Sorry, Mark, it's all going off again on the touchline. Again, the assistant referees are having to keep the Paraguayan subs back and have words with the coach. Galaza, now how much contact is there from Elise? There's no real contact. He's just thrown himself to ground. And if Paraguay do go out, I don't think many would have too much sympathy with Galaza. But they're on the attack here. Free kick is cleared away by France. And upfield further by Elise. The volley by Cubas. Be interesting to see the reaction at the end of the game if it stays 1-0 to France, because these two teams don't like each other, it seems. Oh, miscue by Saliba, slices the clearance behind. It's a corner, less than 3 minutes of added time to go.
Heart-in-the-mouth stuff, right enough. This is, you just don't recognise France doing this, you know, the panic, the sort of, the way they've been flustered, you know, and we've said about Galaza, well, you know, all you can say is he's upset them and he's disturbed them.
He's gone down again, Galaza. This time with Koundé around him. Feels like he spent most of injury time on the floor. Rolling around here, Galaza. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Will he go to ground again? Can he make himself a hero? Corner for Paraguay, whipped in left-footed, well taken by Magnon. High above his head, inside the 18-yard box. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Paraguay 0, France 1 on Talk Sport.
Yeah, the goalkeeper did the right thing there. There was initially a break similar to the one when he got Mbappe in, but it went quickly and he was right to just hold on to it.
Mbappe away down the left-hand side, run in field by Doué. Mbappe heads for the corner flag and he is fouled by Cáceres. Arms outstretched, looks towards the referee. Here comes Ilgiz Tantashev. What's your take on how he's refereed it, Mark?
We've seen him before, you know, and he is lenient, you know, and I think that I don't mind it. I think you want the game to flow. There's a lot of kidology going on, you know. We've talked about Galaza. When that's happening, the referee's got to be a wee bit careful because they can corner him, you know. So, you know, he's given a lot of advantage. He's given a lot of benefit of down. He's let the game go on. I don't mind it.
Galaza going in with Mbappe down by the corner flag, and the ball ricochets off the shins of the Paraguay man. It's a France corner. 45 seconds to go, and France are all but there. He's laughing, Mbappe, at whatever Galaza's got to say to him. The better footballing team is about to win. It would seem. Though it is not over yet, 30 seconds to go. Corner taken short to Doué. Doué has lost possession. He's gone to ground. And some of the France players haven't helped themselves with going to ground either, but Doué has scampered away towards the edge of the penalty area, and he has caught Maurizio. Last chance for Paraguay, right at the very end. We've had the 10 minutes of stoppage time, and this is it. If they can't score from this long free kick that Gil is going to have to balloon from inside his own penalty area just about, then they are out and France are through. Mbappe's appealing that it's not being taken from the right place. That's it! No time for the free kick, and France are through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. It will be a repeat of the 2022 semi-final. France will play Morocco in Boston. There are frustrated scenes from the Paraguay players at the end, but the France celebrations are just about getting underway. And you have to say, the better footballing team has won. Paraguay, for all of their nous, all of their cynicism, all of their stout defensive work, ultimately did not do enough. And yes, France were not at their best. Yes, they were not as free-flowing and as irresistible as they have been at times at this tournament, but they run away to the right in celebration, knowing that they have just about done enough. Mbappe's penalty, the key goal. Mbappe level with Messi at the top of this World Cup scoring chart. And the France supporters and players dancing with delight away to the right-hand side. It wasn't pretty, but France have got the job done. Another step perhaps towards
almost like a miracle, and the referee to finish this off is probably the worst performance I've seen this time. He refereed the Scotland Morocco game as well with that referee, and he let a lot go in that game. But it does. I mean, it does beg a belief that they came off that pitch without. The only yellow card I think Paraguay got that was to their assistant coach at the end there, does it? I mean, France got 3 and they didn't get 1.
Yeah, I know referees in the World Cup have been letting a lot of stuff go.
Which we want to see.
We want to see the flow of the game. We don't want to see disrupted, but I think that was too much tonight. There should have been at least 5 or 6 yellow cards in that game. It wasn't to be, but ultimately, France will care because they got through to the next round.
So this is.
Has an edge that I did not think in a game like this, especially what we saw in the first half, Ian. I was starting to doubt, is this the game? Is this the match that maybe we start seeing the cracks in the pavement? And we got an answer to that. No. This is a France side that we saw a different adjustment in the second half. In the first half, though, and I know what you're about to say, in the first half, we saw some players, Michael Olise, lose his cool a bit. Michael Olise almost loses his cool at the end of the match as well. Ousmane Dembele looked a shadow of himself. But as you said, good teams, when the game's open, they make the terms. Yeah. Great team.
We just changed the game. That injection of pace. I think Barcola wasn't enough space from in the game, but you can see it clearly. It's clipped, and the referee should have seen it. It was the right decision. Gone to the AR and made the correct call in the end, but I don't know how he didn't see it first.
Well, about 2 minutes before that, he probably should have had a free kick as well. Should do it, yeah.
I can't believe they not give us ref cam for that.
No, that's a good
he's staring straight at it. What am I seeing here?
You're seeing the Paraguay manager suggest it was a dive.
And this as well, honestly.
This infuriates.
If I'm Kiel, I don't care if that's my own player. I'm ripping his shirt off his back. That is not how I want to play the game. Disgusting. I'm so glad he sat him down and slotted this. Yes, clipped him. Yes.
Just that composure as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thomas.
Absolutely, yeah. That's when they lost me. That was the last moment, going at the penalty spot and trying to manipulate it. That's really bad sportsmanship, and that's why I was so sympathetic towards Kylian Mbappe. We all love him for what he does on the pitch, but this gesture, I couldn't agree more.
I love that.
I love that celebration.
I absolutely love that.
That celebration is just like...
I wonder what goes through your head to think, do you know what? I will just put my foot between and try and dig up a little bit of the penalty spot.
They've been caught up in the emotion tonight, no doubt about it, and they've probably made a pact before the game. Whatever it takes, we're going to get through this game. But they've gone way too far. But the referee could have put a lid on that. A modern day referee could have booked early on 2 or 3 occasions and stopped any of that. He let it flow. And Paraguay were always going to push the boundaries.
What 7 goals for Mbappe? The graphic there.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Amazing.
Yeah, what a player. We touched on him before, and he'll keep scoring, and he kept coming and coming tonight. All right, he didn't have chances, a few good saves towards the end that we're going to see.
That's why you analysed it before the game, Chappers.
I dug him out.
Going to score.
2 days I was researching that before the game.
Give us the analysis on the Hill saves at the end, because I mean he was amazing against Germany, as we said with Thomas. It's a great double save.
This is a really, really good save. Kone, I think that Paraguay, when they were fit and they had the legs before Doué came on, they were limiting France to these sort of shots. The spin on this is actually an excellent save, as he's kind of just rips away from it. See that ball spinning, great feet from Hill, and flicks it over the bar. And we talked that pass by Olise is absolutely frightening. But this is just I think this was in extra time.
Yeah.
Double save from Hill. This is through a body. So it's such a strong save, getting himself back up again, trying to keep his team in it as best he can. That's the little bit of quality that Paraguay did offer tonight. That's such a great save down to his right. Any young goalkeeper, it's not about making a save. You've got to get yourself back up, make yourself big, strong. Such a good save, this to his right.
That's a phenomenal save.
Yeah.
He goes through the Paraguay defender's legs, and his hand is then, I listened to you, his hand is really strong.
Yeah. No, he made big saves, and no doubt about it. He probably would have thought he would have been tested more tonight. But yeah, he was protected well in certain ways, but when the big moment came, Mbappe sat him down.
There is an element of being not sympathetic towards Paraguay, but their plan was, we're going to defend like we did against Germany, and we want to try and frustrate them. And it's a little bit of being niggly, or a little bit of housery is all right, isn't it? If you are the underdog, but not to the extent that they took it to.
They went too far. Absolutely, they played to their strength most of the time. And I think at some point they realised they get away with these things. You know, they're arguing with the opposition, and the referee never stopped it at any moment. And when they realised the first yellow card went to Barcola, they must have been thinking, "This is our night. We can just continue. We are protected by the referee." And yes, you know
that was horrible. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. He goes against the knee, and then they just continued that way. Look at that. Not quite sure whether Mbappe is at fault and he did this on purpose, but overall there were too many of these little incidents where most of the time they were provocative, and you could really feel for any of the French players who said, "We've had enough here, but we have to control ourselves, otherwise we get sent off." And here you see the frustration there. He gets kicked on the shin. At first, we felt like this was a sending off. It wasn't too bad, and yet you could see the instinct was always there. Just hurt them.
Yeah, but the referee needs to.
Well, David Beckham got sent off for that. I mean, it doesn't warrant Mbappe's reaction. Probably there's the elbow there.
Yeah, but when he's not going to get a yellow card for it, it gives him an incentive to do it. I just don't understand. And Galazzi, you talked about him.
I don't want to say anything anymore. No.
Yeah, let's not give him any airtime, actually.
Well, there's the ref cam.
There's the ref cam for you. And then he leads a bit on him after. Oh, it's our mate again.
This is your bit where he laughs at him that you like.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. So many of them players would have wanted
and one moment towards the end, he got the ball. He didn't even try to do something with the ball. He was waiting for somebody to go near him, to tackle him again or to elbow him. And this is what I mean. This got nothing to do with football. All he wants to stir things up and trying to get a player sent off. This got nothing to do with football.
And actually, for Didier Deschamps, who obviously talks to the ref and asking questions at various times, that last bit with the ball in the corner with Mbappe is kind of heart in your mouth situation, because as Stephen said in commentary, the last thing you want is a Paraguayan going through Mbappe in the final minute of stoppage time and taking him out when you've still got, they would hope, another 3 games.
Yeah, but it didn't happen in the end. I think we've talked about that. I think they've got to behave a lot better, but in the end, I think the France team just does it brilliantly. They didn't get too frustrated. There's a couple of reactions where you're thinking, just leave it, because that's exactly what they wanted, someone to get sent off. It didn't happen. But the referee, he's got to do a lot better. He's got to do a lot better in that game. I think he allowed the game to go that way because he didn't give out any yellow cards.
I think overall as well, that game is also an example of not this whole tournament, but what we're seeing is that a lot of the so-called smaller sides can keep the bigger sides out with tactics and organisation and fitness, and that the gap between, I know Paraguay are by no means 120th, but that it's a lot more even if you are well organised. We're not seeing a lot of teams being walloped, are we?
Not many, that's true, and that's the beauty of this World Cup. We've seen smaller teams, they've done really well, obviously last night with Cape Verde against Argentina and various other teams. Yes, but I think tonight they've gone too far. Like I said, we have a lot of respect for the underdog. We have a lot of respect for teams who leave everything on the pitch. But tonight I've seen too much where I'm losing the respect. And like I said, it's bad sportsmanship. And that's when I think the underdog, they must do better, because France, they showed class, not just the way they play football, but on the human side of it. And I have so much respect for that, because you can't buy that, you can't train. They have class, and Paraguay, they lost the reputation, I think, was quite damaging.
But do you think that alters as well how we view the so-called bigger teams if they don't, put 3 or 4 past them? Should we stop being, I know Germany went out and the reaction's been very harsh there, but
yeah, I think we want a lot more from the bigger teams, but I think it's the walk breaks. I think if you look at the game after 22 and a half minutes, if you could get through that period, get a rest, and then go again, then get a rest in the second half as well. I know we've said the momentum sort of changed and the tactics and management got over there, and then the team can go out in that second quarter, as it were, and be a lot different. But I actually think, if I'm a defender now, I'm thinking, as we would do normally, we go throughout the half, and there's certain moments in the game where I might need a breather. You know what I was like. I could get up, but I couldn't get back. But in my head, subconsciously, I think to get to 22 and a half minutes, get the rest, and then go again. I think that's what's altering sort of the smaller nations and the bigger nations too.
we often talk about why don't goalkeepers catch the ball.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example of why goalkeepers should catch the ball.
Midway through, Mike quizzing me here. Magic Mike plucks it. This is absolute quality. When you've got a speedster like Kylian Mbappe, if you can produce that pass, it's a thing of beauty. I'm going to see another angle in a minute, and I think quarterback is the shout there. That is absolutely brilliant. Just wish he would have got it at his feet, but he just got a little bit caught up, probably a little handball. But that would have been an unbelievable goal. And what a way to break down a low block if you can do things like that. The one time that they got into the half, really, that long throw, catch it and zing it into his path. Beautiful.
He kind of cuts across.
It's an art. It's a real art. And he I tried. No, I did. No, I'm standing on it, man. Yeah, I did.
You did do that, yeah.
I like that pass.
Would you practice
that bit? Yeah, all the time.
Right.
All the time, that pass, especially if you had a speedy striker like Kylian Mbappe. And Mike Mignan would have been probably frustrated in this tournament so far because of the low blocks that he's been playing against. But when he got that chance, you knew that Mbappe, immediately he knew I've got space to go into. And if Mignan could execute like he did, that was a really great opportunity.
All right, let's turn our attentions to England, who are in Mexico City ahead of their last 16 tie against Mexico. Tomorrow, John Murray is already there with former England goalkeeper Paul Robertson, and they are at the Aztec.
Yes, Mark, here we are inside the world-famous Aztec Stadium, and the first thing to say is that this is around 24 hours away from kickoff, and there is thunder in the air and lightning as well, so we'll just have to see what tomorrow brings. But temperature-wise, it is very reasonable, Paul, isn't it? I mean, the conditions are very similar to that in terms of the temperature, what we'd find at home.
And it has been since we've been here in Mexico City, really. I think it's been very, very pleasant. We've needed a jumper and a coat on an evening, and I don't think England are going to have a problem. In that respect, they've been very, very lucky playing in the enclosed stadiums. The two games that they've played in open air, it's poured with rain. And then here tomorrow, I think that the conditions are going to be very favourable should the heavy rain stay away.
What we don't know is how the much talked about altitude is going to affect the England players. And they flew in here last night. They've trained this afternoon at the Pumas training ground, which is about 15-20 minutes away from where we are. But we simply don't know, do we, how it's going to affect them.
Well, you were here for the opening game, and you didn't really feel too much, did you? And we've been here 2 days now. I mean, I'm on the 6th floor of the hotel. You're on the 5th, and I think that's the most altitude that I've felt since I've been here. I think the word is the longer you stay here, the more you feel it. So England, I think, have done right by arriving late, play the game, and then get out. So the way that I'm seeing it now, as an ex-player, looking at this and looking at the atmosphere and the way that I feel, I don't think there's going to be an issue. I really don't.
I think, Paul, in all the years I've done this has to be one of the most eagerly anticipated commentary matches I've ever done. To do Mexico City against England in this amazing setting, I just hope it lives up to expectations, don't you?
It takes a lot for me to be wowed by a stadium. And we walked into the stadium tonight 5 minutes ago for the first time, and I went, wow, what an arena. This is incredible. And we've been in the city for 2 days, and you can see the build-up, you can see the supporters, you can see the way that they're preparing for this game. I mean, win, lose, or draw for Mexico, it's going to be a special occasion in this country.
So, as I say, England have trained here this afternoon, but the news is that Reece James did not take part in that session, but Jarell Quansah did, as did Declan Rice. And we'll just have to see what Thomas Tuchel does when it comes to the team selection for what I hope is an epic.
It's all right, lads. Don't worry about the altitude. John Murray's having no problems in his 5th floor hotel room. You can stay up or catch up to watch